It's fine.
That's like, we haven't
They'll
started
never.
yet, so it's fine.
They'll never know. They'll never know. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Secrets. Twitch is the only ones who'll know. Shut up, Sudz. Yeah, Twitch is the only one who'll ever know. YouTube, you don't get to know. It's a secret. Go watch the VOD on Twitch. You got 2 weeks. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Crabby D&D. I currently have here with me Damian,
Hello.
a cat,
Hi.
and a K.
Nom.
Vinny may or may not be here. That's a no.
Vinny's locating a meal.
Vinny is currently hunting down his next meal. Romulus is
Dying.
Romulus currently has a loading screen over his head, or the loading symbol, and Lloyd is currently desyncing. So it's fine. They will be joining us shortly. You know, Romulus is still in bed, so he'll recover. Ah, Vinny has returned. He has located his food.
Yeah, indeed.
Excellent.
I now have ribs.
Ooh, you didn't before?
Trouble standing up.
So that might have been a bit difficult.
I hope
But
Romulus had some, because otherwise that lung splurged in lots of different places.
yeah, well,
I
it did.
I swear Kay did not steal them.
Nope, not at all. Okay, are you all ready? I mean, this is going to be a fairly short bit, so
Let's go.
excellent,
Yeah, sure. Why not?
excellent. After hiking their way back to the Starsight Camp, the party of Cat, Damian, Kay, Lloyd, Romulus, and Vinny, along with their accompanying brass, heal themselves back up, recovering from their wounds and anxiously waiting for Romulus and Brass to recover fully from their injuries from what had happened in the mountains. Now, we shall see what lies before them. So, with each of you waking, the night drawing to a close, and exhaustion for some of you, those of you that otherwise stayed up during the night to assist Romulus, so that would be Cat, Romulus, and Lloyd all suffer points of exhaustion here. You gather yourselves for the next day, and prepare for what needs to be done. So, is there anything anybody would like to do right off the bat?
Food.
I would.
Kay locates food.
I'm going to go and. Oh, I'm going to create a cure wound. A cure wound. No, it's going bad for me, people. A cleanse rune, and I'm going to attempt to use that on Brass. But yeah, I've got to create the rune first. So
Okay.
Do.
Okay, so you spend a couple hours making that. Vinny, anything you'd like to do?
How is Brass looking? Because I believe me and Damian were looking over
Yeah, we were.
overnight.
Keeping an eye on him overnight, he doesn't seem to have changed too much. The crystals are still there, but they've gone black, bar the kind of light red hue that you can see on the interior.
No, it's like a cylinder, but it wasn't from like in the body to the end of the tip of the crystal. It was sort of
No,
The
it
other
was horizontal across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
widthways.
Yeah. Notably on the interior bit that's inside his body as opposed to the bit on the outside.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
right, the base, basically, as far as we're concerned.
As far as you're concerned, yeah.
Gotcha.
But as you're otherwise kind of looking it over, some of them, they don't look like they've shrunk, but none look like they've grown. He's looking better. He's not nearly as pale as he was yesterday. He's not recovered from his disease, however. He has simply gotten through the worst part of it.
Oh yeah, he had hypothermia as well, didn't he?
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
Yeah. Yeah, from being in the cold and rain didn't help over the first few days, and then it got worse as he started exerting his body.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he still sleeps. He's currently resting as you kind of glance and look over him. He's seen better days, probably, but at the moment he just needs to recover. And you see that Song also at some point snuck in through the night and is currently just sleeping on a chair next to his bed.
Okay.
And Damian, is there anything you'd like to do? Or is it just a matter of we'll skip through the morning and get to the rest of the day?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think this. I think at this point I'm probably a bit like Vinny, just sort of keeping an eye on him, and
Okay.
Yeah.
if
I'll,
Gansey comes in, then maybe we'll sort of give him a report or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, when I go to get food in the morning, I'll get some for song and brass as well.
Okay. I'll say leaving Damian to keep watch. You otherwise head out, and you can see Kay has currently made his way over to the the Showman's Starlight, where you can see what looks to be the owner of it currently, kind of the chalky pink male tiefling currently there, serving up various bits and pieces of what looks to be dried and cooked fruit, as well as what looks to be various bits of boiled vegetables, some nice sauces to go with, and various spices, as he currently develops and makes something. You can see Kay is currently standing at the edge of the cookery, otherwise looking up and over as he prepares something before beginning to wrap it up. For the rest of the group, it would seem.
Yeah.
This is what you see, Vinny.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Kay.
Hello.
How was your sleep?
Better now that I'm patched up. I got stabbed by one of the big ones.
Oh, how are your arms, by the way? Are they recovering?
They're all better now. I kind of like show a little bit of my arm, not too much, but enough to show that it's all gone.
Yeah. Showing it, you can see that there's a bit of darkness to it from what is presumably just residual recovering, but most part of the bruising has all gone. Kind of like where you get colour discoloration after a big bruise for a while.
Mm. Oh, well, I'm glad to hear you're doing okay. You've got food?
Yes, got food. People need food.
Hmm.
Yeah. The tiefling turns around, otherwise hands you what looks to be a series of bundles, and just kind of nods and goes, "Well, hopefully that'll do you. Hopefully that'll do you for what you're looking for there. You looking for something else there?" As he otherwise kind of looks at you, Vinny kind of gives you a look up and down.
I was hoping to get some breakfast.
Aye, of course. What sort of thing are you looking for? We've got insects and kebabs, we got fruits, we got veg. Recently got some more spices, so we've got some teriyaki boiled veg if you want anything like that, or some cooked corn.
I was going to ask if you had any meat, but if not, I guess insects are the best approximation.
I have some barbecue cooked locusts if you want. Alternatively, the dragonflies are quite
No.
crunchy.
I'll try the locusts, see how they are.
Right. He otherwise kind of goes down to what looks to be kind of this sack of some form and pulls out kind of this scoop of what looks to be kind of just dried locusts in one form or another, pours them into a pot and begins to otherwise cook them up in there for a short while, chucks them in a fry with a little bit of oil and begins to toss them, cook them, before taking what looks to be a kind of a darker brownish sauce and squeezes it in, cooks it with it, and then after he's done, otherwise keeps cooking until it almost begins to crystallize and caramelize on the exterior, and begins to place it on your choice of plate or bag, whether you're going or whether you're going to be sticking and eating outside.
Bag, I would think. I'll bring
Okay.
some to the others as well.
Okay, so you get a bag of barbecued locusts. All right. Well, do enjoy your breakfasts. Courtesy of Liege, he mentioned that you did something for the camp and such. Good breakfast. Take care of yourselves, both of you. And thank you for what you've done.
No trouble. Thank you for the food.
He otherwise gives a nod. And as he otherwise kind of looks around, you see there's nobody around this early in the morning, same as last time, and he seems to wander off and go and prepare something.
Back to Gensies.
Came
Kay
back to
still has
Gensies.
learning to do.
You head back to Gancy's with the food. Meet up with the rest of your companions, who happily eat breakfast for those of them that need the morning nutrition. The rest of you, who are otherwise exhausted, find the food welcome, but not enough to keep you from feeling a little bit drowsy for the rest of the day. So, I think at this point we'll move into the time skip portion of this, I think. Unless there's anything special someone would like to do before the time skip at all.
No, I mean, I'm just going to use my rune on brass.
Yeah, I don't really
all I've
have
got planned.
anything special either.
Okay.
Not before time skip.
Okay. In which case, let's move into a miniature time skip piece. So, Romulus needs at least 2 days to recover, so he's going to need to spend 3 days in bed. He's going to need to fully recover his strength while doing so. Brass is going to also need a few days to recover. And I'll say, if this would change your mind at all and decide what you need to do, the crystals disintegrate the next day, and he recovers from the last point of exhaustion the day after. So he's back up and ready before Romulus is. It seems that whatever concoction he was given was far more powerful than what they used on Romulus. Probably but due to the nature of it being a very unknown disease, they put something rather powerful into him. So, with that in mind, and the fact that he recovered slightly earlier, for those 2 days, what would you all like to do? If anybody has any immediate things they have in mind, then by all means.
I mean, I'd like to try and find out what that magic is that we saw outside, where they turned the torches into weapons.
Okay. Who would you like to pursue that goal with? Or who would you like to take up that challenge?
I mean, to start with, I will ask the people that are in close proximity, see if they can point me in any right direction.
Okay. Using Gansey as a guide, go ahead and roll me an investigation check with advantage.
Okay. Roll. That is +6.
Plus 6,
Six.
17. Gansey otherwise kind of scratches his head for a moment. The best thing I can think of is go and speak to Liege. He's usually the one who knows this stuff, and given you've got your in with him, I'd recommend talking to him about it. He's usually got a lot of insight into this sort of thing. Otherwise, if you're just talking about like magic that's used around here, I'd recommend going to Blotched Arts. They usually deal with magic, or Brass, but Brass is out for the count at the moment.
Okay.
So I'd recommend one of those two. Blotched Arts will probably be closed at this time. Liege should probably be up and about. They'll be somewhere.
Okay. I will go and hunt down Liege.
Okay. Going outside of Gansey's Brews and Tinctures, you head out into the open area, the tree before you, as you look around the main campsite, and you don't see him anywhere, it would seem.
Okay. I will ask round to see if anyone has seen him.
There is nobody around.
Oh.
It is the early morning, it would seem.
Oh,
Unless you
okay.
wish to pursue that endeavour later in the day.
Yeah, I'll pursue it later in the day. I know these people don't do mornings, just like me.
And me. These are my people. You...
Mine too. These are vibing with me.
Yeah.
I like this place.
Yeah. You
These
otherwise...
are everyone's people.
These should be everyone's people. You otherwise... taking the time to look later in the day, you otherwise look around before you notice the otherwise very noticeable liege, the deep royal red tiefling, the four horns, and capped in their gold with very flamboyant clothing, as he otherwise is just wandering around at this current time, not seemingly with any aim, just wandering around and chatting to people. As you notice him, you otherwise rush up to him.
Hey, Liege, can I ask you a question? You might know, you might not. Worth a shot.
Yes.
So before we came in here, we met a couple of people from here, and they
Right.
had a unique kind of magic. They were kind of doing a bit of a performance for us where they'd turn the torches into weapons. I've seen this magic before, but only once.
Ah, yes. You'll be referring to shadow arts.
Shadow arts.
Yes, the manipulation of shadow magic.
Oh. Oh, okay. Right. I've never heard this before. I said I've seen it once, and I was curious to what kind of magic this is.
It's part of a wider field of understanding, but for the most part, it's part of a forgotten magic known as rivermancy. That's Rivimancy.
Vivimancy. Okay.
The extent
Okay.
The extent of it, from what I understand, is mostly to do with shadow arts or manipulation in some form. The one that you're probably referring to, he otherwise kind of pats himself down and pulls out a knife before he tosses it in the air and then it reappears in his other hand, is this. It's a cantrip known as Knife Trick.
Huh. Interesting. This is probably going to sound far-fetched, especially if it's like quite a rare thing. Are there any books or anything on this? Has anyone wrote anything?
Not exactly. Very few of us actually know extensive versions of rivermancy. It's a forgotten art for the most part. We only know a few of the useful abilities for our own needs. A few of us specialize in certain things, but it's usually very unattainable. Shadow magic is not exactly welcomed in our community. But I'm sure if you can find somewhere that will study it, there are individuals who work with shadow magic, from what I understand, within the Alliance. I mean, there's more individuals who study it in the Beastlands, from what I understand.
Yeah, I said historically I met someone that knew it, but I was a bit young to truly understand. I was still learning the basics of magic. But no, I would very much like to try and practice or learn this kind of magic as well. So
Learning
no,
Revenancy is going to be a difficult one to achieve. It's not exactly the same as every other magic. It's unique in its own right. He kind of thinks for a moment. The best I can think of, the abbots would be the best to go to. I mean, they have a lot of information on a lot of things, and their professors are very good at this. Otherwise, there might be someone selling tomes on this in the auction houses.
the auction houses.
Yes, the Dwarven cities in the Alliance have a general community going on for the auction houses, individuals selling particularly high-value wares. There are the hidden auctions, which are the more underground ones, like the ones we participate in, and the ones that are more close to the surface, the ones that are more public. The underground ones would more likely have the book that you're after, but the surface ones might, just for a much more higher price, and would probably be regulated, so you'd have to do a little work to acquire it.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's actually really helpful. Thank you. That's really helpful.
There are a number of them which are useful within their group. And there are several that I myself have learned to use, but not to a extreme circumstance. Most of their magic relies on the use of darkness and subterfuge. A lot of personality shifting and changing of your persona. It's an interesting type of magic, but it can also be very destructive if used by the wrong people.
see.
It's a good
Right.
magic to learn, though. It can be useful and get you out of a lot of scraps, if that's the sort of thing that you end up in a lot of the time.
Somehow, yes, we keep getting dragged into these scraps.
Hmm.
So that sounds quite useful.
Well, I'm sure you'll find a way. Not something that I can teach you personally. People around here don't seem to learn the same way that I'd assume you learn. I mean, you carry a book, and I assume you study, compared to learning it through repetitive practice.
Uh, I like you learn in a very different way. I mean, my magic has changed 3 times now.
That sounds exhausting.
Each of them come with their perks. I mean, I can now manipulate magic to do things that before I'd never even imagined to do.
Well, to the victor go the spoils, I guess. But unfortunately, that's all I can really help you with, unfortunately. The shadow
No,
arts
that's
are
fine.
only something that I know very little about, other than the few bits of magic that I myself have learnt. There's not really a way to describe them. It's natural. A flow of sorts that individuals would understand.
That's fair. But at least now I have a rough idea, so potentially I can now research into this.
Hmm.
But thank you very much. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate that. Excellent. Well, I will leave you to your day. I am now going to
Thank
go
you.
and make sure Romulus is okay.
Yes, how is our resident brass and Romulus doing?
Last I checked, okay. They're healing pretty well.
That's
Yeah,
good.
everything's going fine. So they're both going to pull through perfectly fine. Just a bit of rest now.
Sawdust when I breathe.
Excellent. You what, sawdust when you breathe?
It tastes of sawdust when I breathe.
It will for a while, that's fine. The taste will come back eventually.
Almost still being tragic, but I mean, it's fine. You'll be alright.
Nothing new there. Well,
I know.
and
it's
I've
nice
only
to know
known him
he's
for a
okay.
few hours. I've only known him for a
I
few
feel like
hours. If
someone's
that-
insulting me.
Oh, they are, darling.
Out and leave them at the foot of their bed.
But anyway,
Okay.
I'll leave you to it. Do give them my regards and make sure that the two of them do recover fully. And I look
I will
forward
do.
to seeing things from here. And if you're ever looking for work, I'm sure I can find something for your group to do. But if you have your own objectives, I'll let you carry on with that.
Well, I will definitely bring this up with the party. I'm not too sure what the plans are. I think we're still, like, wanting to go to, I think it was the Flame Guard Garrison next to Sacred's Crossing, so I
Ah.
don't know.
Yes, I am aware. Flameguard Garrison isn't a place we often go unless we're heading to Maruk, but it's an interesting stop-off. If you're heading to Sacred's Crossing, on the other hand, you'll find plenty of auction houses there.
Oh. Excellent. Now I know I have a rough idea. Well, again, thank you very much. And Cat will just give him a hug and then run off.
He kind of stops, doesn't wrap his hands around you, and just goes, okay.
Excellent. So, yeah, I'll go back to Romulus and carry on the time skip.
Okay. So, anybody else want to do anything during their time skip? For Romulus, for reference, you have about 2 to 3 days. The party is generally recovering as a group. You're exhausted, but you're able to move around because of the healing of Lloyd, but it's going to take you 3 days to recover overall. So nothing that's going to be like, oh, I'm going to do 400 push-ups a day. It's like, don't do anything extremely strenuous. So,
My life is strenuous.
this is true.
They told me not to pick up heavy objects. Unfortunately, I'm too busy carrying this party.
Oh,
Okay, that's not true, but it was very funny, so I had to say it.
Yeah, it's just-
Wow. Shots fired. Jeez.
Cat
If
just
there
tucks the heal room in her bag.
Yeah.
If there
Before
are
I
pieces,
cast that.
if there are pieces of you missing, it wasn't me.
Who let the fucking rat eat me? I
No one-
specifically requested you not allow that to happen.
He hasn't eaten you. I believe they burnt the parts that remained. And scattered the
Anyhow.
ashes to the winds.
Excellent.
So,
Oh,
Um,
dear.
I
I
have
can go
inspiration,
next.
Romulus. You've made it to the quiz channel.
Yeah, hooray!
If you ever had inspiration, you can give it to somebody else. So,
I do not have inspiration.
excellent. So you have inspiration.
I am very uninspired.
So, who would like to go next? Unless there's anything else you'd like to do, Kat, during that time?
No.
Just do some
Um,
studying and stuff?
Yeah, studying, chatting to the party by just chatting, make sure everyone's okay. So it's just a general
Okay.
hi, how are you doing?
Okay. In which case, if there's ever a time the party's doing something that's non-personal to them, you're more than welcome to insert yourself into the scene.
Let's go.
Alright, Simon. You got any ideas?
The main thing, main thing I want to do with my time skip is continue practicing the loot.
Okay.
Since I have-
Okay. In which case, go ahead and roll me 2 intelligence checks, please. If I
yeah, I'm
remember-
just going to be going somewhere relatively quiet.
When he
So,
says practicing the
people
loot,
too
he
much?
just means he's stealing all our money.
Ah, the loot. The art of loot.
Personal notes about Vinny. Okay. Okay.
Well, one not so good, but
Yeah.
straight intelligence.
Yep. Straight intelligence.
That's 2 and a 13.
Okay. Going through the otherwise beginning to practice the loot, it takes a little bit of time. You've gotten the rhythm down for some of it, but getting the songs to actually work and function together and not fumble it up is getting more and more difficult. You're finding that you're overthinking a lot of this. And after one day of practice and studying and kind of trying your best, there is a point where you realize maybe just let it be natural. And instead you begin to kind of lightly play the lute instead. Just letting the notes naturally flow. Instead of focusing on what comes next in the song, you focus on the song itself. And you begin to learn a little bit more of the lute. It's going to take a little bit more practice, given the bad first roll, but you will now be able to use charisma instead of intelligence to learn the lute, which should give you a significant boost.
Excellent.
I'll say that takes up some significant time, unless there's anything else you want to do.
Oh, I would actually like to go and see. Oh, what's his name?
What do they do?
The guy in charge.
Leash.
Liege. That's the guy.
Yeah, you find him easily enough, being his flamboyant self, just striding around camp, talking to people who don't want to talk to him.
Oh. Hello, Liege.
Ah, hello, Vinny. Oh, good to see that you've pleasantly recovered, and I hear that Brass and Romulus are recovering well. That's good.
Yeah, they seem to be on the mend now.
Excellent.
Yeah, while I'm here and I've got some free time, I wanted to ask you something.
Go ahead.
Your organization.
Yes.
I believe when I first arrived, you mentioned something about open membership.
Yes. Yes, we have plenty of places available. If you're good at, how do we say this? If you're good at lifting objects, maybe getting a few things here or there, or distracting, perhaps. I saw the air in you. One of our brethren without being one of us, so to say. I recognize the talent was there, and I can see that you're very good at what you do. That's why I offered. The showmen are a very welcoming lot, and we're often taking and doing performances wherever we go, only taking from those who can afford it.
Well, that's a very positive philosophy, I think. And thank you for the compliment as well. I had a very good teacher. As I said, as I'm going to flash the auction book briefly.
Interesting. You aren't perhaps in touch with this individual?
Not at the moment, no.
That is a shame, but if you're ever looking for work, I have done business before.
Brilliant. So, what does it take then to become a member?
Usually just some form of tattoo. That's usually the most simple way. Most of us have a very flamboyant appearance and gesture to us, showing us off as showmen. Being unmarked, or clean, as it were, without tattoos, shows that you are not a member of the showmen. If you want to be recognized as such, a flamboyant or extensive tattoo is fairly easy. We have a number and selections of those, and given your interest, if you're looking for work, I can have the payment be up front for the particular tattoo, if you are interested. Nothing magical, of course, but we have some interesting ones. Blotched out to be where you want to head if you want to join up. It's up to you. Joining has no additional cost or anything. It's just a membership club. It gets you to places that you might not be able to usually get and puts you in the good favor of certain individuals and the bad ire of others. It comes at a cost.
Any particular people I would want to be keeping an eye out for?
To avoid or to be friends with?
To avoid.
Mostly ironmongers and your friend over there, who seems to be rather oblivious to our presence, which is nice. The Flame Guard are also a little bit wary of us, but they're never a problem. And if you're heading to Zaker's Crossing with the rest of your friends, be wary of the golden lot. They're more trouble than they're worth. The Golden Crusaders, that's the name. They have what you could call an ex-member as their leader. He sought out bigger things and, well, he kept the flamboyant nature while becoming a better person, so to say. Just because he got a lot of money and ran into it doesn't mean that he's any better than us.
I don't know very much about these Golden Crusaders.
They're a bunch of very expensive mercenaries, set up by him. Treasure. He was a friend of ours originally. Didn't always go by that name. He used to just be called the Golden Child for quite some time, and then he grew up and became some vain, proud dick. Cast off the shackles that was us in his own proclamation and tried to have us all arrested. Our numbers dwindled, and many of us were arrested at that time, but a lot of us escaped and set up anew here. He is currently set up in Zaker's Crossing. Our people don't go through there often, and most of the time we can avoid the Golden Crusaders. They're few in number, but they're very good at what they do. He's just a bit of a bastard. Not sure where he got the money from, I have to admit, but maybe some rich folk sponsored him to take us out. Someone with a sore ass after he gets kicked too many times, perhaps.
Well, who on earth knows how a these kinds of people will always manage to find their money.
Usually it's from extorting us. But I digress. If you want to join, you're welcome to head to the Blotchstart and get yourself a tattoo. It can be of your design and whatever theme you want. Just something flamboyant is usually very welcome. If you do not want to join, you will not be offended. You are good associates of good friend Kay, who delivered things for me. And I'm sure we'll all remember your faces. Well, most of us will.
Alright then. One other question. This might be a bit cheeky since I'm not actually strictly a member yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I was hoping to ask about a group of other people I thought might have been members here.
Go on.
The Delin twins?
The Delin twins. Where did you meet those?
Unclear if I've actually met them yet.
Oh, they were the ones in
Their
your
names,
book,
yes.
weren't they?
Their names I know, yeah.
Yes, sorry. I'm in the wrong document then. Give me a mo. Shut up! I hate that my mind went there for some reason. I don't even watch Strictly Come Dancing. I mean that nondescript show.
Sure you don't, Chris.
I don't.
Sure you don't.
No, I don't. No, they aren't somebody of my understanding. Can't say we have any amongst our group anyway. Not they'll go by that name.
Okay. No worries then. Just, I heard they were in this general area.
I can keep an
I
ear
figured I
out.
would ask around.
I can keep an ear out, see if we've had anything. I'll see what comes up. I can't always be certain, but some of these things are... well, they occur.
Well, thank you for keeping an ear open. Oh, one other question. You don't work with the leaf cutters, do you?
God, no.
Okay, good.
No, they do work, and by all means, we don't work with them in their jobs, per se. Sometimes we lift some of their cargo when they're not looking, but that's beside the point.
Right, so that's good to hear. It's reassuring. Right, I think that's me then. Thank you for your help.
Thank you very much. And have a good day to you.
And you.
He otherwise gives a very deep bow before standing back up and just wandering off back to whatever he was doing. Did you want to go to the blotched arts then? And become a member, or would you prefer not? And you can do a job for him if you want to get the pay covered. And depending on what you want.
Yes, I think I will
You will?
join up. Yep.
Okay. Otherwise, heading towards what looks to be a fairly simple tent, for the most part, on the far side of the camp, nearby to the showman's starlight. You can see what looks to be a tent that's otherwise well decorated with furs and rugs that otherwise line the floor of this area. It's slightly raised, a wooden platform set inside of the tent itself, with what looks to be a simple chair in the centre, and a specialist tattoo device next to it. It has a soft scent of floral nature in here, and the device itself seems not too dissimilar from a spinning wheel of some form. Long, with what looks to be kind of this long tubing-like device that otherwise attaches to a thin pen at the end, and what looks to be vials of ink that are otherwise set up along one side, various colours that are otherwise set into these this kind of colour rack. You can see what looks to be a number of small jars, inset sticks currently burning away, and you can see a number of lock boxes around the room as well, as a broad-shouldered and otherwise butch, snow-coloured female tiefling stands before you. A single horn, otherwise on her forehead, with what looks to be a carved hole in it, that looks very similar to a sewing needle in nature. You see a large number of spiraling black ink tattoos that otherwise cross the majority of their form, giving this almost monochrome look of black outlined roses, lilies, and daisies across their pale body. You see a chalkboard off to one side, which currently has the readings and prices of the tattoos, which I will send you the simple ones now. If you want magical ones, you will have to ask.
I think it's very rude that I'm not allowed to get a tattoo just because I'm recovering from a major operation.
You know, if you get it wrong. Okay. Hello?
Oh, hello. I'm Vinny.
Pleasure to meet you. Sketch. You're a bit clean. Does that mean that you're looking to join?
Yes, Liege said I should come here.
That is correct. Now, are you paying for yourself, or are you doing a work for Liege?
Liege said I could take payment up front.
Yes. That would be fine.
Yes.
So you're doing a job
yes.
for him.
Yeah.
Excellent. In which case, what would you like from the list? Magical tattoos are not included, but I can deduct the highest cost from that. I'll be able to deduct 80 gold if you wish to get something a bit more intricate.
Oh, I don't need anything that complicated right now.
Very well.
No, a simple tattoo should be sufficient. I would think so at the moment.
Right. Well, tell me what you want and where you would like it.
Second.
Mm-hmm. Everyone else have a think about what you would be doing during your time skip as well while this is going on. Did you want some time to think and we'll hop back here?
Yeah, sure. That would make sense.
Cool. So, let's move to Kay. What are you doing during the time skip?
Kay is going to Kay is going to try and speak with Gansey and see if Gansey can help him understand what he is.
Okay.
Because Gansey's already seen what I look like.
Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, with Brass and Romulus currently recovering on one of these days, you otherwise head in, getting a look over. You can see Gansey's currently doing some checks over Romulus, and you're recovering well, Romulus. I think you should be. I think I'll allow you to go out for a wander, but no fighting or anything dangerous for a few days, if that's all right. Romulus?
Oh, and my apologies. I was distracted by the, healing process.
It shouldn't require focus. Are you sure you're alright to go out tomorrow?
No, I'm. The more I focus, the quicker it happens. I'm just gonna pop a second wind in front of him, and you see my flesh start to knit back together.
Yeah, sure. Sure, you know what? It's disturbing and funny. Well,
Isn't that how it normally works?
no.
Oh God, what's wrong with you? Right, but yes, I believe a bit of light jogging might be necessary. I actually, no, you're right. I should focus on resting. Have you seen Cat around?
She's been in and out all morning. I think she's checking on everybody and making sure everyone's okay. I'm sure she'll be back soon. Ah! Kay! How can I help?
When you had time, I wish to speak with you.
Of course. Romulus, all good
I-
to lie back down for a bit?
I can lie back down for a bit.
Mhm.
I will wrap myself in my cape, though.
You wrap yourself up and kind of lie down on the bed for a moment,
I
just
am
getting what rest you can.
cozy Minotaur,
Mm-hmm.
all snuggly wuggly.
If you want, we can head out the back to talk, if that's alright with you. Let him
Yes.
get some rest. You head out through the back, passing Brass, who you can see is currently sat up, and the crystals have significantly shrunk. You can see, however, the sections around the crystals has not begun to heal back quite correctly. But it's healing.
I see. Well, that's good. At least he's healing.
So, you wanted to chat with me?
I was hoping you could help me figure out what I am. I don't
I mean, you're a
know.
Morben, I assume.
I am not sure.
You're not sure?
I don't know who or what I am. When we went to the sisters, when I said my name, they said that I didn't know my name.
I see. So, you believe that you might have repressed memories?
Yes.
There's nothing I think I can do to help you on that regard. Not with any ingredients that I have. There are some that might be able to assist, but nothing I'd be willing to put you through.
The main thing is just want to understand what I am mostly, because I can do things others can't. I show him by letting my tail free and then turning it into like a sword, or yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He starts for a moment before kind of relaxing again, realizing he's in no real danger. Interesting. I can't say I've seen anything like this before. Give me just a moment. He wanders off and otherwise comes back with what looks to be a large tome and beginning to just kind of flick through it. Nothing that I can find on any disease or infliction of this design. If anything, I'd say that it's something that's more unique to you, perhaps. I don't know that this is something that's... This isn't a condition or a disease that I have been made aware of, and I've made some extensive studies in the past. The abbots in Maruk, if you really wanted to head there, might, but at the same time it might be a dangerous thing to do. Otherwise, the cataloguers might have information if it's more of a monstrous quality. But again, they're more likely to lock you up and experiment and see what you are, whether you're alive or not, to see exactly what's gone on. The abbots might have more care, but a Morben isn't exactly welcome in their society.
I spoke with other abbots before and was planning to speak to abbots in Maruk. They also know what I am, but they were going to help me understand my what they called magic sensitivity.
He leafs through the book again. Magic sensitivity I am aware of. That's something that happens to typically overexposure to crystal manifestation. Convenience crystals are a method for absorbing and utilizing magic for a person's use. This is something that is commonly observed and utilized amongst certain populations. Convenience crystals, for example, in Trenlow's Rest or in Zaker's Crossing or any of the main areas around here, are maintained and utilized by the abbots. Some individuals have been reported sick back in the early days before they were refined. Magical sensitivity is one of the major pieces of that. Something that people did suffer back in the day.
I show him what happened to my arms.
Okay. He takes your arms kind of gingerly and begins to inspect them. Just make this with disadvantage. Okay, still not too bad. There's scarring and certain things are happening. This is certainly possible. I can't say for certain what might have caused this, but if this is some form of magical exposure in order to make you sensitive, then whatever happened to you has potentially had a lasting effect. It can be dampened in the presence of certain things, but I couldn't say that I know what. Before we go any further, we'll continue this conversation after the minute silent that we will start in just a moment. So for those of you who do not know, Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom has unfortunately passed away, and it is a minute silence that we will be partaking in at 8. If you're watching on stream, I welcome you to join in the minute silence, and if you're watching this on YouTube in the future, I welcome you to join in this as well. Okay, we shall begin. Okay, that is the minute up. Welcome, Infernal.
Hello.
You joined just after we finished the minute silence.
What a time.
I was worried you might join in the middle of it. You channel the Queen Elizabeth's energy as she wanders around the corner.
Yes.
Everyone roll initiative.
Oh no, fuck!
Is that the minion?
No, I'm not spawning Queen Elizabeth as a minion. You'd have to spend spawn boss on that.
Good God.
Oh, legendary action firing squad.
No!
Spawn redcoats.
Oh, good gosh, no.
Oh, you'd all be
At
screwed.
at the end of every action.
Oh.
There's this
Infinite
bomb.
legendary actions and legendary resistances. Which
Yup.
And he even running away, cavalry charge. No! There's no escape.
Yeah. I think, yeah, we'll finish off the conversation and then we'll take a quick break after that. So that way. Yeah. So whatever may have happened to you in the past may have caused this oversensitivity. To neutralize it, I don't know if there's going to be a suitable way to do that without causing potentially irreversible damage to your body. The scarring on your arms would suggest that... I don't know what history befell you in the past. Are these caused by incidents? Were they caused by you? Were they caused by somebody else?
Can I get an understanding of which scars he's referring to?
He is referring to the scars that were created.
I see. Wait, created when? Before?
Before, yeah.
I don't normally say this much, but it was from time when I was held by chainers.
You see as his expression changes and he breathes deeply for a moment. It's quite possible you very much do suffer from oversensitivity to magic then. Experimental papers have been created and distributed from the chainers for quite some years pertaining to this subject. It is also quite possible that due to this oversensitivity to magic, that you will be able to leak magic. Manifesting spells is unique to each person, and forcing someone to learn magic is nearly impossible. Yet, leaking magic is still a method for casting. It's quite possible that these scars could be, as much as I don't want to say it, the focus. It's also quite possible there are shards still inside of you. If that's the case, I could perform an extensive surgical operation to remove these shards. It would remove your sensitivity to magic, potentially, but it might also extinguish any possibility to learn magic in the future. Alternatively, it could heal you to the point that you are not overexerted to this, but you are still exposed, and that you could still see or hear or feel the magic without being overly affected. There's no way to tell how this would go. Depends on what you want.
I think for now I should not. I don't want to slow the others down.
Understood. The offer stays for if you ever return, you've got time on your hands.
I understand, and thank you for helping me.
A word of advice. Let at least one of your friends know, if they don't already. Better that one of them know than all of them find out one day what happened.
Back.
And this is referring to Chainer's thing?
Yes. You gather that.
Well, I have an idea of who I can tell. I will take you up on your advice.
Stay safe. If it ever gets too bad, make your way here and I can do something to help. I know the procedures. If you ever speak to the abbots, know that what has happened to you can be reversed. They may be able to help, and they most likely can with their medical procedures, which quite possibly will be safer. But they may also hurt more.
If I honestly would trust you more than any of them, as I have seen you work.
That's reassuring. But take care of yourself nonetheless. What you have, some would consider a gift and others a curse. Just don't let it eat too much of you.
I will attempt not to.
He nods. Anything else that you might like to do during the rest of your time skip?
Other than see if I can find anybody that can help me with, like, understanding more of the basics of magic and stuff. Not really.
I'll say if you wanted to have a conversation with Cat, but outside of that, not really. No, there wouldn't be anybody around here to teach you magic.
Well, I've always got time to be able to talk with Cat, so for now I'll hold off.
Okie dokie. Romulus or Lloyd, which one of you two would like to go next as part of your time skip? You have a few days just to explore around if you wish to.
I don't mind.
Okay, go for it.
All right then. The first thing I'm going to be doing is I know that Cat has gotten into runes as a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And much like every dad who doesn't really get the kids thing but wants to like try, I'm gonna try and sit down with Cat and be like, well, why don't you tell me a little bit about this rune thing?
Okay.
I'm supportive.
Alright. So, we'll say we're doing this while I'm making a hill rune for him. So, basically, magic is you can channel magic through these things, and I'll show him like all the notes that I've got in regards to runes, what was given to me in my backstory from a certain someone. And I'll show him all that. So basically, these runes take the magic that I cast, change it, and manipulate it to do what the rune requires. It's a single word phrase. I've got Chris, just to clear this up, on my runes thing, these are all the ones that I know, aren't they?
Yeah,
Right,
these
okay.
these are all the basic ones, the ones that you were taught.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I know 10 different runes.
I'm going to pull out the what are they called, etchings of the what we grabbed off of the pillar.
Mm-hmm.
As we did, and I'm going to pull those out and say, well, how do they match up to any of these?
Sort of. This is different.
Hmm.
I think these need a specific kind of something to activate them, where my ones take what I've got and then change them to what the rune is. So, for example, like while we were at the tower, at that pillar that you knocked down, it was knocked down. You didn't knock it down, though you probably would have tried given the opportunity. The one that was not well, I know you'd probably want to bench press it.
Please, I would have rolled it down the mountain.
Huh.
And again, I could have done that given enough time. Maybe.
Well, there.
And the development of
So-
several hernias in the process, but yes.
Yeah, that's it. So basically they required sort of like, in my case, from what I understood, the lithomantic magic to activate. Where like my runes, when I cast my spell, and then the rune that goes into the rune, and then the rune manipulates it, for example, to heal.
So, in your case, it's like the rune. Your spell is like water, and the rune is like a cup or a teapot or something like that, a container of sorts, and then the container shapes the water, or in this case, magic.
Yeah, so as like you just said, so my spell creates the liquid, that then goes into the rune, so the rune is then full, so that liquid is suddenly a healing thing. Then I take that pot and I'll throw it at you.
Fair enough. I believe I understand the analogy.
Yeah, see? So it's not too hard. I mean, it gets complicated when my magic keeps changing. So, but I mean, the more it changes, the more I seem to understand the fundamentals of magic. So, yeah, it's not too bad. I want to experiment with trying to make different runes, but it's kind of hard. It kind of feels like there needs to be a natural flow before I can. Trying to. I don't know, it feels like something inside me is trying to embrace the rune magic, if that makes sense. Like trying to draw it on paper, while I'm drawing it, the more and more that we've been adventuring, it feels natural and I kind of feel the flow of it as I'm drawing it. But I think with enough training, I might actually be able to do this without drawing it on paper. But this is going to take some time and work, and
Well, you said it was a natural thing, and the lithomantic ones on here ascribe themselves to natural effects, yes?
well, yeah, so basically these absorb a kind of magic, while the ones I do absorb and then create. I suppose in theory that did create stuff, because it made us all sink into the ground. So I guess it kind of is similar, but just needs a specific kind of magic, whereas mine use any of the magic that I create, as long as I can target it, I guess.
Well, you say any type of magic, it's your magic. Maybe that's what's the type of magic it needs.
Interesting. I wonder. Because I put my energy into these runes. I wonder if like someone like Vinny or Damian can actually put any energy into these runes.
It would be interesting to see. With what Kat said about the sort of natural flow of things, and my close-ish relationship with the natural world, could I take out a bit of wood and start whittling a rune into it and just try and follow what feels right?
What languages do you speak? Or no, I should say.
I speak Dwarven, Sylvan, and common, I believe.
Okay. In this instance, you know that the runes that you got off of the pillar were in giant.
Mm-hmm.
So, you think about it for a moment, trying to think what feels natural. Go ahead and roll me an intelligence check.
Oh, I like how I pull up like something like, ah, yes, this is a really interesting thing to do, and I'm fucking stupid.
Not necessarily. This is just to see if a connection can be made here, or something that might feel natural. I assume you're a tabletop. Oh yeah. Your
I
mouse
am,
is
I
just
am.
far away.
Nope.
Okay.
That's in a 9.
9. You think about it for a moment and trying a few different techniques. It takes you a little bit. You try and draw runes of various types. There's not really anything that works. You begin to think about it. You begin to inspect it, trying to figure out what needs to work here, and there's nothing that seems to catch your attention. Nothing that looks or feels like a rune. Nothing that works. No lines. No geometric shapes. No non-geometric shapes that work well. It just doesn't feel right. You begin to draw and continue to experiment, following things like the grain of the wood, trying to manipulate them in specific ways, trying to use different depths. A lot of your craftsmanship doesn't seem to aid itself towards this, and there's not really much you can do.
Okay.
Romulus is just
Romulus.
surrounded by wood chips at this point.
Let's go. Romulus, do you... Chris, if I created a rune like what I've got for the protect forts,
Mm-hmm.
and gave it to Romulus, if I charge it each day, can he use it?
I believe so. I believe that's how it works. It just needs to be charged by a spellcaster.
You have 50 GP.
Do I?
Yeah, you.
I
You.
I do have 50 gold pieces.
Let me...
If you say it enough times, will it actually happen? I have 50 gold pieces. Ta-da!
I do have 50 gold pieces. Like what do you want me to do with this 50 gold pieces?
I'll just double check with
Eat
Chris
them.
that it's actually okay if this does work. But basically, I'll run it for you. Like,
it would
what?
have to be the attuned creature to recharge it. So in this instance, you wouldn't be able to give it to Romulus, because he doesn't have any spell slots to recharge it with.
Could I recharge it with rage?
Unfortunately, not. But you could make something that would work for the rest of your party. So Vinny would be able to use this because he has levels in Bard. Kay has levels in Collector.
So I just need to learn one
Lloyd,
spell. And I'm good to go.
Lloyd would be able to because he's a full-blown caster, and Damian could because he's got spell points.
Hey, if it's attunement, right? Could I theoretically attune to it while I'm doing my spells every morning into my book?
I'm just checking as part of this. Increase the level. Right.
Basically, trying to find a way of breaking this so Romulus can have something.
Spell, blah blah blah. Touch an object. Cast the spell stop spent to power it. I believe at a later level you get the ability to give other people the charge. I'm trying to remember if that's a future feature or if that's just something I'm imagining.
Not that I'm
Oh
aware
no, it's just that it retains a charge all the time.
of.
So it will have one charge and then you can charge it more later.
Yeah.
I will say in this instance it will take you longer and cost you more GP, but it will then be specifically bound to only Romulus and can only be charged by you.
Okay. How much more GP?
I'm gonna say depending on the spell.
The spell is gonna be Sentinel Ward to help protect him.
Okay, so something that'll be specifically only he can put on himself.
Mm-hmm.
It
There's
has-
gonna be no
and it would have to be
combat
charged
links,
by
literally.
you.
Yes.
Sentinel Ward is a second level spell by base anyway,
Yes.
so it would cost 100 GP
Okay.
at base. I'll say double that to 200 GP and 4 hours of ritual, and then you can attach it.
Okay. Right. So when we get 200 gold pieces, oh my god. There's something I'll show you. We can have a hands-on approach to this. We'll create your own rune that will help protect you. But we need to get 200 gold pieces first.
Well, that's quite the sum, but
Mm-hmm. It is. How much have you got?
I have 80 gold pieces currently.
Ooh. How much did we have in the bank? Can you remember, Chris?
Let me get the document up. I don't remember. It's been too long.
Back like 9 sessions here.
I just gotta go back to wherever your joint character stuff was, wherever I put that. Groupings, Cat and Romulus.
They withdrew 50, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, they withdrew 50, and I think they got 150 each. I can't find it. Is it in the letters that I sent you?
Please request a fresh Branker's draft.
Yeah, yes, you'll probably need one.
Forged ink for the sum 5 billion platinum.
Let's go! Runes for days!
Where did this come from? My ass.
50. Okay, 50 for the discovery, an additional 50 for the, as well as the initial backing up of the live specimen plus the extra. And that was also an assignment completed, which was an additional 50. So you got 150 each, and you took out 50.
I don't believe I've taken out anything yet. Have
You
I?
haven't, no. We left the rest
Oh no,
in there.
sorry, my apologies. You had 100 each, so there should have been 200 in there. Sorry, you took out 50, and you used that in case you want, and you picked that up so you could make a rune to help something. So you
No,
have
the 50 was to pay Damian back for
Oh,
The
that's
stone
right.
that brought
killing
you
the stone. Yeah.
Yeah. So that means there's 150 still in there, and there's no bank of iron around
There's
here.
no bank here, no.
No.
So
And you've also
But-
got the quests as well you could pick up, which require you to go to a bank anyway. So
yeah, so we need to do a quest. So next time we go to the bank, I will show you. We'll work together and we'll make you a rune, like mine, and I'll point to my sort of link on my cloak. And it's something that'll help keep you safe.
I would appreciate that.
So would I. Gotta keep you safe.
That sounds almost creepy.
I don't want this pointing to
We've
the
got
bald
to keep
spot.
you safe.
Yes, keep you safe. No, it
Wait, what,
points
you
to
have a
bald
bald
spot.
What?
Yes, you do. Put the place where the fur hasn't grown back.
Oh,
This
sorry,
is
you're
not
breaking up.
happening. Okay.
Harlan's breaking up.
Bye. Harlan. Romulus, away.
Whee! Okay.
It's probably me.
Yep.
Yep. It is
Okay,
you.
I can hear you. Hello.
Welcome
Cool.
back.
No, it points to the bald spot. This is not happening again.
All right.
Yeah, there was a clear circular bald spot on your chest where the stake went straight through.
Oh,
and the skin
that
rolled over.
one. Right. Oh, I get you now. Yeah, no, that's fair. I also would like to avoid that where possible.
Okay. I will show you, and we will go from there. Okay?
That
And
sounds
just-
good.
Cool.
Now, in the
Alright.
meantime, do you know anyone who understands giant?
Me?
Good. I think I will try and learn this big person language, as I too am a big person.
Okay. Alright. So, for a little bit of the time of my time skip, I am going to start teaching Romulus the very basic words. He's going to know cat, dog, me, food, and waffle.
Hey, Jamie, what is the word for waffle in giant?
Don't know.
Darn.
I don't speak giant.
No, that's fair. Okay.
Groggle.
More maple syrup?
Grogglefoff. So,
Grogglefoff.
It's just waffle, but really loud.
it's just waffle. So, alright, with that'll be Romulus. I assume that's you done, or did you have more you want to do?
Nope. Runes and giant are my only things I'm doing over this thing because I need to be resting.
Okie dokie. So you're beginning to learn giant. Moving on to Infernal or Lloyd. You are last up. Anything? Well, actually, no, Damian
Hello.
needs still to go as well, but Lloyd, what would you like to do during your time skip?
I'll let him go first.
Mhm.
Or, oh, has he done his thing?
Mm-mm.
No, I have never unfortunately done my thing.
Would you like to go now, or should
Yeah,
I go?
why not? Let's do it
Okay.
now, in public. Wait, that's not what you're on about. Oh, sorry.
Anyway, so what are you doing, Damian? This is part of your time
I'm
skip.
so happy for you two.
Yes, me.
Yes, anyway.
So,
God.
Damian.
So, when Cat goes... Is it Cat who initially tried looking for Liege and then discovered there was no Liege around? And
Yes.
Then
Yeah,
had a look a bit
that
later?
was in the morning.
So whilst Cat was trying to find Liege, I'm gonna go... No, actually, a bit after she's found Liege, I'm gonna try and find Liege myself.
Okay, he's very busy this morning.
Yes,
All
he
right.
is.
Okay, you go and find Liege. Another one of you come to see me today.
Good morning, Liege.
Good morning.
Do you know anywhere which might be quite sort of solitary? I need a bit of time to myself.
I mean, if you're looking for a room, then it would otherwise be... I'd recommend going to the Showman's Starlight. If you're just looking for somewhere to relax in the open air, I'd recommend the edge of the camp. And try up on the mountains. It's quite nice up there.
Okay. That'll be through the arch, yes?
Yes, head through the archway and head up to the top. There's a little patch up there which could be quite good to lie down on. Alternatively, if you're just looking somewhere where there's a good sunbathing spot, the under the tree's not too bad most of the time.
Okay. I'll look for both of them and I'll find one of those as a good spot. Thank you, Liege.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good day.
And you too.
Okay, I'm gonna go out the arch and see if I can see either of these two places he's suggested.
Okay. Well, the tree, you know where it is. It's in the middle of camp.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Whereas the one as you otherwise head up the arch, head through the archway and head up, you reach the top of the way in. And you look around, giving just a curious look around the area, seeing what looks to be a kind of a patch of what looks to be light greenery that's kind of settled in a dirt mound not far from here. And as you otherwise wander over, you can look back and you can see where the top of the or the hole that would lead down into the Starsight Camp should be, and you distinctly note there is no hole. It's just stone. Not smooth by any means, kind of a rough-hewn stone, but you pick up... There's probably some form of big illusion here to hide this place.
Okay, I'm going to go to that patch that he's noted. I'm going to
Mhm.
sit down, sort of cross-legged. I haven't put my armor on today. I've left it at the bed.
Okay.
Or, in the back of Gansy's.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll say, Kat, as you were wandering around looking for, making sure everyone was okay on that day, you would have noticed Damian's absence wherever he's gone. You'd also note Vinny's absence and Kay's absence. So, nothing out of the
Right,
ordinary,
okay.
but yeah. You know
Has
everyone's
anyone seen the little one, the handsome one, and my paladin? I have lost them. Anyone?
Food.
You know Kay
please.
is currently over at the place getting more food.
Okay.
Lige is
I'll go.
otherwise wandering around.
Okay. To start with, I'll just go up to Kay. You okay?
What? Huh? What?
You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey. Cool. I'm gonna reach into my backpack or my saddleback. Shh. I'm gonna slide him a little bit of cheese.
Who do you need dead?
Oh!
Just slowly start redacting my cheese. No one dead.
Roll,
Don't kill anyone.
roll me a strength save versus Kay grabbing the cheese. Kay, make me
Oh,
an
I'm never
attack roll.
doing that. Let's be honest here. Let's try.
Making an attack roll?
You're grabbing for it. You're grappling the cheese from Cat.
Oh, that was so close. Yeah, no, you're gonna
As you
get it.
put the cheese forward, there's kind of like this offer of cheese. Kay says that, and there's a moment of hesitation. And in that hesitation, there's just a swipe across that you see the blur as Kay now holds the cheese, just staring at you still.
But hey, please don't kill anyone. It's just a.
It's
an
the
offering.
paladin, isn't it?
No, it's an offering to the friends. On the note of the paladin, do you know where he's gone?
Do I know where the paladin went? Did I see him?
Roll
I'm out here getting
me,
food.
roll me a perception check with disadvantage, I'll say. That's not bad.
That is perception. That is a 16.
16. You saw him at one point wandering off. It was a bit strange, and you took the note in that he wasn't wearing his armor, which made him kind of like who's that guy? And then you realised who he was.
I'm probably wearing my fine clothes, I think,
Yeah.
probably in this situation.
I saw them wandering wandering off in that direction, and I just point in the direction that I saw them.
Yeah, which points past the tree towards the archway and the smithy.
Okay, I will go to the smithy and just is Damian in here?
Song otherwise looks up, kind of a little bit blurry-eyed, just, no, not that I've seen.
Out of the archway? Why has it gone out? Okay, sorry to be a pain. I'm just gonna run off and
No problem.
head to the archway. I'm going to start going up the stairs. And while I'm going to do it, I'm going to charge my thing and cast Detect Thoughts. So.
Okay, so you roll me the d6 to see how many charges you get.
Oh, let's go. One.
One? Okay, so you get one charge.
I'm just going to chain these up. I'm just going to keep casting it until I find him now.
No, that's fine. Casting Detect Thoughts, you wander up the stairway, takes a little bit. But as you get to the top, you do feel the ping of someone nearby. Damian, what are you thinking at this moment? I'd say you're cross-legged, you've been up there for a little while now.
Why? Why did it happen? It didn't need to happen. I just don't understand.
Okay, that's what you hear, Ken.
That's weird. Okay, I'm going to follow that chain of bizarre thoughts.
Okay. Otherwise, trotting over, you see Damian in some fine clothes, currently sat on a patch of soft moss, legs crossed, kind of head bowed a bit.
Okay, I'm going to be sneaky.
Roll me a stealth check.
Oh, you'll spot that I've got the piece of peridot sort of in my hands, probably.
Okay.
Okay, as you are distracted, your passive perception is reduced by 5. Don't think that's needed though, because Cat rolled really high.
That's right, sneaky cat. I'm a ninja.
And all the while, Kay is right there with Cat.
Oh
He's
my
just
God.
been on her back the entire time.
Sneaking in. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. She's actually doing this as well. The fact that it's in the head, but slightly coming out of her mouth and still sneaking up. Great. Okay, and she's gonna throw her arms around Damian. Hey, what's up?
Whoa. What? Hello?
Well, you seem down, and you've got a big frown. So, what's up?
Damian looks up. What's the sky looking like?
Today's weather is... Ugh.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Just cloudy today. No meatballs. Okay, we'll go hungry.
Quite a lot of appropriate grey.
Look him dead in the eye. Honestly, you're terrible. But
I
kind of-
don't need you to tell me that, Cat. I already know. You just see Damian start to go into tears.
Oh, don't be sad.
We're all a
Oh.
bit shit here.
I'm gonna just give him a hug, and I have an idea. Maybe this will help. This is what my mum used to do to try and help me smile. And I will go around the back and gonna start braiding his hair.
Damian is too busy crying to really take much attention.
Okay.
He's noticing it, and it's actually soothing him a bit, but he's still just too busy sort of bawling his eyes out.
Oh God! When
Roll me... Actually, no. You feel a... While this is all going on, Damian, you feel a calming effect wash over you. It's momentary and it lapses after a short while, but you feel more at ease and comfortable here before the reality begins to set in a bit again and eases off once more.
by the time I finish braiding his hair, I'm tying it up as well. I've got some little bits of string. I'm just gonna tie it off.
Oh,
Aw,
you look so beautiful, Damian.
you look cute. You should put your hair up more often. Just go round to the front of him. How's he looking?
Very, very red in the face, tear streaks just straight down his eyes, but at least he's kind of looking straight at you now.
Still not help, eh? Okay. I don't know how I'm meant to deal with this. I've never come across someone being... Well, I understand sometimes things don't work out. I mean, Mum and Dad once, when I went up a mountain, they once said something to me. I can tell you it if you want. Might help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just talk to me for a bit.
Okay. Right, you're gonna have to bear with me because my reading is really bad. But it's fine. Alright.
Just gets the rune book out, starts reading runes.
Let's go! I'm going to tell you this in giants. I'm not going to tell you yes. Okay, so sort of like hold his hand. It's like, so life's full of so many wonders. It has beautiful moments, sort of sad moments. There's frustration and fear, success and failure. But a purpose to life is to find happiness. Life is beautiful. It's made of beautiful things. You share your love and happiness with the world. Got to make new friends along the way, possibly. Though sometimes you will have your differences. And happiness for each other, it's the banner we all unite under. It's like, I'm gonna drag Damian up by his hand, literally, well, try. Looks at my strength.
Damian's just gonna go with it.
Cool. Excellent. Please don't make me roll a strength roll. It's not gonna work. It's just like gesturing to everything. Look at all of this. Like, look at our party. It's a miracle that our party come together in such a vast world. I believe between us, working together, not only as a party or a bunch of friends, but as a family, we're able to tackle any of the magnificent obstacles that stand before us. Yes, the 6 of us are oddballs, but together we can face anything. But Damian, just gotta look you straight in the face. You are part of our family. You're part of our collection of oddballs, and we all love you in our own unique ways. Yes, we're weird. That's what makes us us. And give you a hug. I love you for being you. Though I don't understand half of your jokes half of the time. Never change. Never stop being you. You're amazing.
Damian's gonna hug back.
Cool. Excellent. Like,
and-
Kat is 100% crying right now with the thought of her parents. It's just, yeah.
Cat, that was beautiful.
Well, that's what someone once told me that was special. So,
You should treasure that advice. It's perfect.
I do. It's a very special memory that I have, but we love you. Yes, we're weird, but that's what makes us work.
So fucking weird.
That Romulus, he's the weirdest of us all. He hears you from no matter where you are.
I've been asleep for 2 sessions. God fucking damn it.
His hearing is
Like-
impeccable.
Like, you look at Kat's eye, there's just like a nervous twitch. She knows somehow he's talking about her. But just stay with us. Like, I understand there's difficulties.
I nearly rode off when we got back. Cat, I haven't been through good things recently. Things have been the toughest for maybe 10 years, and
Okay.
I don't know. Have I actually told you what's happened?
Not really, no.
Oh.
No.
Part of my knightly order, I had a best friend and my brother, and we were almost inseparable. And my brother and I were still in Paloon at the keep when my best friend came back, but he wasn't himself. Nobody knows what happened, but something went wrong. And then one night I heard a commotion and the bells going, and I got to the yards and my best friend was over my brother, and my brother was maimed by my best friend, and I haven't had time to deal with it. And then everything that's happened since I met all of you guys, it's just been too much.
No. This best friend, is that who you're pursuing?
Yeah, I don't understand what he could have done to be so out of character to attack one of his friends, my brother, and well, to attack me as a consequence in essence. Something's not right. I need to find answers, any answers, and it's been days now, and I've found very few.
This is a bit, maybe personal. If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. But when he come back, where had he gone? What had happened? Do you have any idea?
I don't know where he'd been. I was kept out the loop with where he went, but he came back, and he didn't have the sword he had when he left. He had some kind of golden sword, something that none of us recognized. and he used it on my brother and others. He killed other knights.
He did. Was there writing on the sword or any defining features?
Please bear with me. Damian.exe is currently searching.
You need to boot more RAM.
Yeah, well,
I download it. It's fine.
Yeah,
don't we
it's fine.
always need more RAM? He had the sword. It was red metal, and it was fire and flower decorated. It was like something I'd never seen before. And I think he had rosary beads around his hand, his wrist, like those that Lloyd has. I don't know. It's all odd. It makes no sense to me.
I know this might be personal, and I'll ask for your permission first. Okay, but I can detect thoughts. I can see into minds with a spell. I want to get your consent first, but if we do this, can you think about him, and I'll see if I can see anything that maybe you just didn't understand.
Yeah, I can. Well, I mean, that sight of him over my brother, it haunts me. So it's not. You might have to steady me. I might
okay.
shake thinking about it, but
It's okay. You're
I
not
can
alone.
try. I can try to.
Me and Titania here. Okay, we're gonna go sit him, rest him against a rock. Okay, rest against a rock, and I'm going to. I don't know if this is actually gonna work, but I'm going to cast Detect Magic. Is that concentration?
Yes.
It is. Is
Detect Thoughts is also.
It is also. Right. Okay. All right. Then I will cast Comprehend Language in case there is any languages on it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay. Damian, do you consent to failing the saving throw?
Yeah.
Okay. As the two of you sit down, Damian propped up against the rock, let's change the music for this. The moment happens. Your vision alters for the moment, seeing something in almost a mind's eye, understanding it as your spell is woven. The rune taking place. You need to add another charge, by the way, so might as well add that. As you otherwise expend the use of this, the detect thoughts encapsulating Damian's head in this moment, kind of like crystalline refractions coating him for that moment before they dissipate. You begin to see on each of these bits of glassy crystal the vision which he saw. You see Damian running through the corridor, high speed, wearing only part of his armor, as he seems to have only just woken up. You see that he has his, I believe you had your mace and your shield on you at the time.
Yeah.
As Damian ran down towards this opening. You hear the bell toll softly. As he reaches the courtyard here, he skids to a stop as he looked through, hearing the screams of what looks to be a younger male human. A greatsword being pulled up from the ground, which parted both of his legs. Both of them sheared off at the thigh. As he pulls the greatsword free, you see who you presume to be this Leo character. Let me quickly get this bit. Okay. I can read you the exact description because I wrote this down actually. Okay. You otherwise watch or feel through Damian's mind the breath taken from him in this scene. You can see his brother, and the name comes to you, Michael. Despite wearing his full brigandine and having his shield raised up, you can see that the ground around him is painted crimson, the scattering of blood covering the large cuts and wounds that otherwise mark the rest of his form, with the great sword having separated and severed his right leg from the thigh into 2 pieces, with the other leg also broken in this manner. Trickles of red blood otherwise blocked the edge of the blade, and you can see that they begin to trickle from Michael's nose and eye as well. Eyes, as the greatsword is lifted up and pulled away. Standing over him seems to be the attacker in full plate armor, the same as he wore that day when he returned. You see a set of dull brown wooden rosary beads wrapped around his right wrist that accommodate the hand that is currently clutching the greatsword hilt. Leo is the name. The greatsword itself is one that is unfamiliar, that you note. A faded red steel decorated with iconography of fire and flowers, each of them glowing with an iridescent pattern of natural magic that radiates across the blade edge. As Leo places his foot on Michael's other leg, he pulls the blade free from the earth as it's frozen in place by the shock of what you're seeing here. Leo looks to you and pauses as Michael screams out in pain, the blood gouting from the stump of his legs that spills out across the ground as the eyes dart between the two of them. Leo looks into your eyes and says out from across the courtyard, "Don't try and stop me, Damian. I don't want to hurt another friend." Leo turns to leave and the vision begins to go cloudy with dark blue fog as the spell ends.
Damian is practically shivering. You see more tears running down his face, and his face is almost pale from shock.
Hey, the cat is actually in a complete state shock too. Look down to Cychania. Can you comfort him as well, please? Knowing full
Cychania,
well that Cychania can comfort cat.
yeah. Unfortunately, Cychania has already used calm emotions on him a moment ago to try and help him, and that's her on charge done.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Just gonna hug around you. It's okay. It's okay. I understand. I didn't see anything out of what you'd explained, but
I'll say if there's anything you'd like to do retroactively there, like any perception or arcana checks, you're welcome to.
yeah, I mean, from the sword and like his body language, does he feel comfortable with what he's doing? Is there reluctancy with what he's doing? How are his pupils?
Roll me an insight check.
Oh, let's go, cat. You and your -1 insight.
Hold high.
Yeah, no.
No.
3.
Can I use Tides of Chaos for that?
You can.
Okay, let's go. Watch what happens. Oh, he's even worse for it, whatever.
It's fine, you take the 3, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. The memory was a strong one. And a painful one at that. The nature of it, if there was any expression, you aren't entirely sure you can trust it.
No,
It's difficult
fair.
to say. The memory may have been warped, depending on what he remembered and how he remembered it. If it's a raw and true memory, there's nothing that you could spot.
Okay. And can I do the Arcana one for the sword?
Go for it. This will be with disadvantage.
Okay, let's
Yes.
go.
As I do not believe you're proficient in blacksmith tools. Or... yeah, it would just be blacksmith tools.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Okay.
That's still Arcana is +6, so that's 14.
14. Okay, that's a good roll still. You can tell it had natural magic to it. It was a very powerful magic to be visibly oozing in the memory. The fact that that sort of thing can be recalled meant that whatever that magic weapon was something that most people would dream of getting their hands on within any order or any individual who would use that sort of strength. Something that Romulus would definitely want, you imagine. But in that moment, as you felt the energies, it felt unnatural. Something about it was wrong. You just don't know what. Everything else about his persona seemed non-magical.
Yeah,
Well
right.
kept, and to a certain degree etched, as they are, as the more higher ranking individuals have more etched armor. But other than that, there's nothing else that caught your attention.
Okay, right. I don't know if this is any helps you at all, but that sword of his was very powerful and felt very unnatural.
Oh. Okay.
There was something about it made me feel uneasy. I'm not saying this is the thing, because I don't know. But something that powerful could have been manipulating. Could have. If this was out of character, and he came back from wherever he come from with that weapon, it may not be your friend that did this. More of the influence of the weapon.
It might be the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'm not saying this is the case, but
No,
there is a chance.
It's good that you've at least suggested, you've at least noticed that possibility. It might help with my inquiries about it.
Hmm.
Do you think you can memorize that sword and draw it?
I will say, roll me a history check to see the integrity of what you can maintain for the memory here. This is just going to be a flat history here.
Is that me or
That will be Cat because of the
Okay.
detect thoughts.
Yeah.
You've probably played the memory over in your head hundreds of times, so there's
So I
not.
probably
Yeah.
can, but I probably
Yeah.
can't draw.
You probably can,
Ma-
but then drawing it and therefore
Maybe
describing
if
it
I
might
was
be.
doing the detect thoughts with the intention of trying to memorize all the features of the sword, but I didn't. It was a very broad picture.
I mean, you
So,
haven't rolled for
I
your
rolled.
No, I meant you haven't rolled for your runes. So if you wanted to roll with your, if you got a second use of your a second charge of
Oh
detect thoughts.
yeah.
Because if you ended up getting
go.
a 3 or higher, you can use it again and do it with advantage.
6.
Yeah. So if you wanted to expend
Okay.
another use to do it with advantage, just to extract
Okay.
just the image of the sword.
Okay. So think about the sword, just the sword, not the memory, just the sword, and I will then
The
use.
sword. Don't look around the sword. Think that.
Yeah.
Only
Look
the
at
sword.
the sword. Only the sword.
And
Okay.
run.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, give me a.
So
This would have been with advantage, so that's a 2. And what would the other roll be? This would be a history check. 3.
That's plus
Hey, Cat.
what? That's +6.
If you do
That's still 9.
do a roll of a d100 on the wild magic, I'll give you your Tides of Chaos back for a single reroll.
You're having a lot of fun with this,
Let's
aren't you, Fred?
go. I like the chaos too.
All right, give me
I'm
a
rolling this
d100.
madness.
All right, give me a d100. This is a
Excellent, 81. Watch me explode into a ball of fire now.
81. I got to scroll down for that one. Okay, you as you cast detect thoughts, your mind immediately focuses, and you begin to feel almost this extra time be given to you, as you would gain an additional action.
Let's go.
Which,
So I'll
yeah,
take that action to use my Tides of Chaos.
which is not how it works, but hey ho, go for it.
Thematically, it'll go.
Thematically,
Right.
yep.
Do I get advantage or it's just a single
It'll just
roll?
be a single roll.
Cool. Let's go.
Yeah, roll the
Wish me
lower
luck.
number.
Yeah, that's what Tides of Chaos is for.
There we go. 18.
Okay. You memorize the sword as best you can. With the short amount of time, you focus in and you hone in on that image of the sword. You're fairly confident you can recall the image of it for a significant amount of time.
Okay. Then I will open my notebook and I will draw said sword.
Okay. Draw the sword.
Damian's gonna watch this intently because he might remember it all the time, but he's not seen it replicated. So
Yeah. Seeing the sword replicated, you watch as the design is accurate. A curved and otherwise pointed edge to the tip of the great sword, the various iconography of the flame and flowers covering the extent of it. You look at it and it's very striking and reminiscent, and you imagine that if this were to be brought up in a particular situation where you are calmer, it would probably set you off to a certain degree. Given the sword's implication in all of this. But the sword on its own, looking at it, it still looks just as it is. Kat, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
That roll?
Yep.
That is a 17.
Okay. As you are drawing the image, you note something very specific. And this is only because you are proficient in enchanter's tools and that you have actually been studying runes and etching, that you understand that the way this sword is designed is very specific for a very delicate but extensive etch across the entire blade. That's possibly where its magical power comes from. Possible. You aren't certain, but the magic of the lines and the way it's structured suggests a powerful etch to it.
Interesting. So, as I finish the drawing, while drawing this, I've realised something. This blade, the way it's shaped, the whole design of the blade almost. It's like there's an entire etch going along here, that gesturing to where it be. That could be the source of the magic. If that's the case, that's one very complex etch.
that is interesting. Who on earth would be able to produce such a thing? It's either the product of somebody incredibly skilled today, or it's very, very ancient.
Almost gestures Sarchania. The world's full of old, very powerful things. Depending on where he found it, it could be ancient. It could be more recent. The thing is, we'd have to find out if it has a name, and then potentially someone might be able to get some information on it.
I
Or
know
there'll be a book.
somewhere that should have the answers. If nowhere else has the answer, it's gonna be there.
Okay.
It's not far away either.
Just out of curiosity, would Cat know about things like cursed items?
I'd say that to a certain extent. Cursed items aren't something you would ever have come across, but at the same time, there would be objects that people get particularly attached to, either through natural habit or stuff like this.
Okay, so
If that's what it is.
Okay, so I'll say to Damian, the thing is, the items in the world, depending on where they come from, what happened, some of them have many weird and strange effects. I only touched on this in a book that I read from my granddad once, and that was there's these things called cursed items. People don't realize the addiction to a weapon. I didn't read too much into it to really understand it. It was just a fleeting glance. But what I'd maybe recommend is, and this is an idea, I can't say it would work, but if we do come across him, maybe try and separate him from the blade.
Okay, I that makes sense. I can
It's an idea.
understand that.
It might not be pretty trying to do it if he's not wanting to relinquish it. But, heck, this party are pretty good at coming up with random stuff. I'm sure we could probably get it from him somehow.
We did a
Without
good
harming
job
him.
with the Cyclops.
Exactly.
We could try, I'm sure.
But you're not alone here. We're all working together. If we can help your friend or help you understand what's going on, we will.
Thank you, Cat.
That's alright. That's alright. And how's your lithomancy prepping going?
I was hoping maybe to find something here, but maybe I'll do that over the next day and a half up here. I mean, sort of touches the ground beneath him. I'm in contact with the rock here. Maybe I can focus a bit and make some progress.
Considering today, we're half the way through the day. Just as out of character, Cat is going to spend the rest of the / afternoon going into the evening with Damian,
Okay.
meditating.
Okay.
About cat things.
Okay. While you do that, Lloyd, anything you want to do?
Hello. Yes. I would like to look up what that dark thing was that made me heal. Romulus.
What, to try and find something to?
Yeah, like see if there's like any history on it or something.
You mean the magic that you used on?
Yeah, either the magic or the thing that gave me magic.
Oh, I see. Okay. Give me a religion check with disadvantage.
Sec, my thing is loading very.
Mm-hmm. After this, we'll take a quick break and then come back at the end of the time skip. Oh, and we'll get to Vinny as well. Your tattoo.
No, Vinny gets nothing.
No.
Vinny
Fuck
just
you,
gets
Vinny.
a random tattoo. Roll a D100.
Chris, before I forget, one last thing I wanted to do with Cat is find a brazier so I can recast Jeff.
Jeff's with you.
Yeah, I know, but Jeff 2.0.
You don't need to use
18.
a brazier for that.
Do I not?
No,
Oh,
you
okay.
can ritual cast it. You just need the GP of incense and charcoal.
Okay, cool. Then I'm changing Jeff's form.
Okay. Oh, I've got to get the other tile out. Okay,
That's an
I'll get
18.
that in a minute. 18. Thinking about it and studying it, the magic and the being which gave you this strength seems and felt different. Different
Is what?
and distant somehow. It's strange. The presence felt there, and as if it were the only thing in this place that was just isolated. Something that attached to you like a limpet and gave you its power, but you can't quite put your finger on what it was. There's no understanding on what it gave you, and the magic that you used is strange. I mean, it's almost... Are you trained in Arcana?
Arcana, no.
No. The magic eludes you. You're not entirely sure. You've not seen any magic like this in prior history. You've not seen people cast this kind of magic, and you're not aware of it by any means. But somehow you managed to reweave Romulus's flesh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You study and look around. There's nowhere that it particularly has books that might be on this. There's nowhere, no one would know what kind of magic that is. And the study of the religions as best you can. There's not really much else. Anything else you want to do?
I think that fair. Other than like tending to Romulus and what was the guy's name?
Brass.
Brass.
Okay. And Vinny,
Mm.
would you like to have break first or describe your tattoo?
So the tattoo I want is going to be of a turtle
Oh.
rising out of a body of water
And where would you like it to be?
on the right forearm.
Okay. Okey-dokey. So that would be
what colours are available as well?
Is whatever colours you need.
Any metallic colours available?
Yeah.
Cool. I would like it to be bronze then.
Okay. Okay. In which case, that will probably be a complex tattoo.
This is fair.
Wouldn't be large, wouldn't be a sleeve, and it wouldn't cover your whole limbs. So nothing to worry about there. Over the course of the day, you're otherwise etched with this tattoo. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oof.
Okay.
That's a 19.
19. You hold on for as long as you can. And the pain is something. You've never had a tattoo before, and now you know why, and for good reason. It hurts. And with the metallic inks being put in place in order to otherwise give it this colour, you feel the needle otherwise going in, it strikes, it stings, and it's certainly something that's uncomfortable, but the pain is something, but you manage to push through, and you otherwise maintain consciousness through the process. You are given a wrapping to go around it to stop it from otherwise cracking, along with an ointment to go with, and Sketch otherwise looks at you. Right, well that'll be all. If you head to speak with Liege again, I'm sure he'll give you the assignment, unless he's given you one already, and from there that'll cover the cost. I'll otherwise catch up with Liege and get that from him.
Right then. How long do I need to keep it covered?
Give it a day or two. It should be alright. The metallic paints might begin to crack a bit. If that happens, just use a bit of the ointment and that'll keep it set in place.
Right. Okay then, I'll go speak to Liege. Thank you.
Okay. She nods, and as you otherwise leave, you note that somebody else is currently going in. They're otherwise very well decorated, but you do note that there's like a patch which doesn't have any tattoos at all, so potentially they were going to get another one there.
I shall complete my collection.
Yep.
I must
Okay.
become
It's K.
perfect.
So,
That's so bad.
and you'll go and find Liege, which we will do in a moment, because I need to quickly
Yep.
be right back. Those who need to be right back, head be right back. Otherwise, Vinny, try not to go anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming
Oh,
back.
apparently you can't have a break.
No, it's
Everyone
fine.
else can, but
No,
Yeah,
Vinny,
everyone else can, but you have to sit there at your desk in
all
front of your
right,
PC.
you have a break if you need it. Fine. I'll be back in a
Go
moment.
to Lou quickly. I'm not going to put
Yeah.
the kettle on there.
Wow, Chris has just denied him tea.
Yeah, I know. I'm
like,
appalled.
what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that's
you
the
don't
one.
do
A
that.
man's tea is a man's palace.
That's the
Yeah.
one thing you don't do to a British person. You could do it to an American or a Macedonian, but not to a Brit.
Yeah. And on the note of man's tears is palace, I'm gonna go get my palace.
So is there now going to be like a fanfic where apparently Lloyd and Damian create babies? Is that a thing?
there-
now?
What the fuck?
What do you mean there's going
How did this
to be?
happen?
It already
it's
is.
already a thing.
What the fuck?
I
do you
mean,
it's
it's in
already-
K's note.
Oh.
The all-seeing Paladin.
What do you think I've been preparing for my next load of what do you call it? I don't fucking know anymore.
Erotica.
My next erotica.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I see.
I want to say there's a lot of critical role stuff, not a lot of Tusk Love stuff, and I'm very disappointed.
Oh my goodness. Oh, just tattoo a load of red eyes onto Damian's head. Then again,
They're
now that
already there.
now
Your
that
hair's just covering them.
I have returned.
Hi, I have returned.
Hello. Have we got a Vinny here? Darn.
well, I gotta go to the loot quick myself.
Yeah, that's go for it.
Uh,
Yeah.
hmm.
Okay, go on then. What are you sighing about?
Oh, nothing. I'm just.
He's just sighing.
He's just sighing. For dramatic
Sigh.
effect.
Yep. Kay's missing wonderful food. There's food out there that he must acquire,
You can have it.
like a dragon.
You can't have that.
Oh.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Tasty, crunchy dragon bits. Everybody
Vinny.
loves their dragon bits.
Vinny, I need help.
No, you don't.
Chris is denying me dragon. Help.
Probably for the best, honestly. So, Vinny, you go and find Liege. He is around somewhere. It doesn't take you long to find him. He's a very easy to spot character.
Kay is stalking him.
I assume you approach him.
Yes. Oh, hey, Leash.
Ah, you see you've returned.
Mm-hmm. I've had a tattoo done now.
An interesting choice. And a good colour, too. I suppose this means you're one of us now.
I suppose so.
Hmm.
And I suppose that means we need to talk about payment.
Ah, so you're taking on a job for me?
That's the plan, yeah. What work do you have?
Well, as I mentioned to your friend Kat earlier, that we do have work. The way some of the jobs would take you further away from home, but one would be delivering an object back up to Menagerie Ridge. But that's a bit far afield for all of you, I imagine, so I have something that might be of use to you and might help in your time if you're heading to Zaker's Crossing.
Oh, that is the plan.
Excellent. I have a particular delivery that might be of use, if that's all right.
I'm sure that'll be fine. What needs delivered and who to?
Just a letter. Nothing of particular problem, I can't imagine. The individual in question I would like you to take it to. They're an old friend of mine. I'm sure it'll be quite alright to go and see them.
They either broke up or this person killed their cat or something.
If you could deliver this
Let's
letter,
go.
if you could deliver this to, they go by the name Nightlight. If you could deliver it to him for me?
I'm sure that'll be fine. Where should I go about looking for him?
You'll find him in a establishment known as the Firefly Stacks. It's a rather grand place. It's hard to miss. You'll find it close to the center of Zaker's Crossing, but Just give him my hello and give him the letter. I would hire a courier, but very few of our troop actually head down through Zaker's Crossing, given some shady history with treasure before. So it might be interesting to send a new, more covert group to converse with Nightlight for me.
Yep, well that sounds a simple enough task.
Yes, sir. It should be appropriate to cover the cost of a simple tattoo like that. Well then.
Right then.
Is that
One
all?
letter to Nightlight.
Yes. I will acquire it and give it to you before you leave, if that's all right. Just if I can finish it up and then seal it.
Yes, quite all right. I won't leave without speaking to you again then.
He looks at you with a quizzical grin of, are you sure you're going to make that happen? Volcano goes, very well. Well, I will see you before you leave then, and I'll make sure the letter is ready. Okay.
Right you are then.
Right. Is that everything, or is there anything that anybody would like? Oh.
I've got one other. Well, I've got something to mention before we go, and there's also something that I want to see if I can find, which would be something like either a scroll holder or an envelope.
Envelopes, plenty. You can grab some of those from places, yeah.
Okay, just to put the drawing in so that Damian doesn't actually look at it.
Yep, no, that's fair. Okay, so put it in an envelope. That works?
Yeah.
You can add that to your inventory. Just put envelope containing picture of sword.
Okay, I
you
should do that.
Write more of a description if you want to later.
Yeah.
The other thing?
I realized that I did wish to speak with Leech as well.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
Why are you all so needy today? What is it?
I was just wondering if you hear anything about chainers, if you could let me know.
I can do, surely. There's very little that we hear on them this far south, but I'm sure if anything comes across my ears, I'll let you know. Some of our troop do head through the north, but I don't think we've had many run-ins with them as of late.
That is a good thing.
Yes, it is.
Bad.
May I ask why?
I'm trying to avoid going back.
I see. And you're worried they're going to come after you?
Yes.
I see. Well, in such a case, best thing I can say would be lay low. They don't usually come this far south, so you've got nothing to worry about. It's the north you've got to care more about. They have spies everywhere.
And a really good one, too.
Kind of gives a quizzical look.
When I was there was one I knew, a individual I knew of that could mimic other people.
Like their voice, or...
Everything.
Oh.
Yes.
Good to know. I'll keep an ear to the ground, and I'll be wary.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's all for Cap.
Okay. Actually, before we get to your bit, Damian.
Yep.
Just so I know what your bit's coming up. On the second day, after you've all generally recovered and you're beginning to kind of get back into the motion of, okay, we'll leave tomorrow, we'll sort that all out. Brass otherwise approaches your group generally, but more specifically you, Romulus. I'll say as you're otherwise reconvening, or beginning of the day, you're otherwise getting up and getting prepared, you leave where you're otherwise staying, and Brass otherwise approaches you. You can see that the crystals have diminished completely, and there are these large kind of spherical, not voids, but kind of divots in his skin where the crystals used to be, giving this very, like, almost Swiss cheese look to him now. Where the skin is still trying to fill in and heal, but he's lost a lot of mass as a result of this.
Swiss brass. Sounds tasty.
Brass. I'm glad to see you're doing a bit better.
Oh yes, thank you. I've recovered plenty. I actually wanted to speak to you all. I want to thank you for what you did, and I actually wanted to offer something in exchange. I don't think you received any, like, proper rewards at all, so I was hoping maybe you want something from my stock. Either maybe you want something, or maybe I can do something custom for your work.
I certainly wouldn't complain, but you do know that even without a reward, we would have looked after you, right?
That's very gracious of you, but I still think I owe you one. You saved me from that place, you kept my stuff in good condition, you gave me some clothes, and you brought me back here and I survived. And hell, I mean, you had a stake through your chest. I think you all deserve a reward, especially you.
Alright. Well, in that case, I think my fellows will be grateful to accept.
Ако изпаднат резултата.
Whoa. Whoa.
Oh no, Lloyd speaking in tongues again! Quickly! Get the holy water!
Snaps fingers, comprehend language. What did he say?
You'll tell us that in a moment.
I believe it was something about milk.
He's making cheese!
But,
He's curdling.
You're looking a little bit, on the... Well, you look like you could use a good meal. I don't suppose you'd be...
I've eaten plenty. It's going to take a little bit for me to recover, I think. I just need to build up the muscle again. Hence why I've asked if you've got any work that needs doing. I'm an etcher,
Right.
as you may already know. I work on giving designs and effects to weapons. I have dabbled in enchanting to not the greatest success. I'm better at etching. But
Right.
I have some things if you're looking to have a little bit of uniqueness to your weapons.
I'm gonna pull out my glaive and my maul.
Mm-hmm.
I made this... I say glaive, it's really a Dane axe, okay. I pull
Yes.
out my Dane axe and my maul. I made this Dane axe myself.
Mm-hmm. It's not a bad make. It's relatively strong. Simple iron. That's not a bad material by any means, but it's gonna rust if not taken care of.
No, that's not iron, that's bear. Dire bear. Remember,
Oh,
I
that's
made
right.
It
You made it out of
fine.
bone. I forgot. Yeah.
That's dire bear.
Bone's
though.
an interesting choice. Beast materials are highly sought after, and there's certainly going to be something new.
And this maul is just a really good hitting stick.
It looks like it's taken quite the beating. I can replace the metal cap on the end for you, and I can give it a light etching if you wanted something more intriguing. Otherwise, it might be a bit difficult to work on the Danax, but I can try. And if you wanted me to etch something onto it.
What I was thinking is I'd like to leave the Danax mostly as it is. It's got sentimental value.
Right.
But the maul, I think, could well use some etching. What sort of options would there be?
Well, I can give it some simple etching. Depending on how long you're around, I can probably get a few simple. I can get maybe 2, 3 simple etches done in a day, and if you're heading out anytime soon, you're looking
I
pretty
actually
spry.
have no idea. Cat!
Yeah.
When are we leaving again?
I think the plan is possibly tomorrow. I'm not too sure.
Maybe tomorrow.
If
But
it's
we
tomorrow,
can push it around.
I can get 3 simple etchings done in that time if they go well. There are a few useful things I could give them. I could give it the keen attribute. That should help it with wanting to hit the foe a bit more. A cruel head to it will mean that you can do a little bit more of a hit when your opponent's vulnerable. I'm not as proficient in elemental heads, but I could try. Alternatively, I could just make it magical to a certain degree.
And it's one or the other.
You only get 1 etch, and once it's etched, you can't enchant it unless you want to make it out of a higher tier metal, which I can't give you. I was able to study some of the runes while you were from the pillar, actually, my recordings. I can put the shape effect on it, which will allow you to switch a little bit more freely between what type of damage you're going to do, like between using, say, for example, a blade edge, or trying to puncture with an arrow, or just trying to bludgeon it. You'll only be able to do it so many times a day, but you can switch between. Could be useful if you're fighting certain enemies. Or I can make it glow. Might be helpful.
I think I'd most appreciate making the small magical.
I can do that. I can give it an enhanced rune.
Would you mind if I watched the process?
By all means.
Me too.
Etching is a difficult process. It's not something that smiths can readily do so easily. Hence why my husband is a metallurgist and works with the metalling and smithing, and I work with etching. The etching is a finer process. It requires delicacy and a knowledge of the channels of magic. You're welcome to watch, just so that you know. I have more to offer if any of you want gifts. Looking around the rest,
I would be interested in a couple of hand axes if you have them.
If you're just looking for spare hand axes to buy, that's fine. I can part with those.
Oh, certainly, yeah, they would be helpful.
Sure. He gives you a bundle of 4 hand axes to use for potentially throwing.
I don't think you can help me, because I don't do stabby, pokey, slashy, crashy stuff.
I'd recommend checking the bargain bins. There's some weird stuff in there you might be able to find a use for.
Let's go. I'm going to go and investigate. Me and Sarchania are going to see what we can find.
Okay, we'll get to you in a moment. You going to say Kay?
Kay kind of like comes over and tugs on his sleeve or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you can help me understand if etching will work with me?
He saw the way that you fought, didn't he? Yeah.
He did.
I could. I don't know if it'll hurt.
It might, but I'm willing to try and see.
Okay. I can give it a try, but if it ever starts to hurt, I'm going to stop. Is that okay?
Yeah. Kay is just gonna have to try and hold the pain.
Okay. Okay, we'll get to you in a moment. Vinny, did you want anything?
Well, I have 2 simple swords. If getting one of them enhanced is a possibility, then...
I can do that. I can make it magical. The enhancement literally just means that it doesn't give it any further resistance. It just means that it will... Creatures that would usually be more protected against weapons that are of a mundane nature, it bypasses that. It doesn't do anything else.
So to clarify, out of character,
Mhm.
for all intents and purposes, it is still a non-magical weapon, but it is able
But
to bypass resistance.
yes, but it's able to bypass resistances to non-magical weapons. Yes.
Harlan is making note of this very specific wording.
Yeah. Keep in mind that with it being a non-magical weapon, you can use the magic weapon spell with it. That is an intended thing that you're able to do. And the same works for other etches as well, because it doesn't count as being enchanted. But you can't enchant it in addition to it being etched unless it's made of arcanium or higher in the tier list, which I believe is a tier 5 metal. Because I've expanded...
unless if it's changed. Then
I believe I expanded the metal so that there's up to 8 tiers, so that the DC increases linearly, not exponentially. So that way it's a little bit easier to understand and use. Okay. I can enhance one of your scimitars. I mean, depends. What are you used to using? We have other weapons here. I don't know if there are any scimitars in the bargain bin. I mean, there's a few daggers. There's a rapier in there. We have some more higher quality weapons, if that might be what you're wanting. We have a few enchanted things too.
Well, an enchanted weapon sounds nice, but also quite expensive.
This is true. This is true. I can etch a scimitar for you in that time. And if I'm only doing... I mean, so far I'm going to be experimenting with him. Gestures to Kay. I'll be etching the mole head and replacing it with a better metal so that it's more sturdy. And I can etch one of your scimitars. That should be fine.
That works for me, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so he will work on that process for all of you, doing it for free for the nature of it. And Romulus, you're the head of... Excuse me. Oh, pardon me. The head of your maul is replaced with that of a dark steel make.
Yeah.
Which means that it will now be weather resistant and is now also considered to be magical against things that would destroy magical or non-magical weapons like acid or fire.
Oh, cool.
So useful against that. Not necessarily useful against things that like disintegrate non-magical weapons like the disintegrate spell, but useful against things like acid
that'll
and
fuck
fire.
you up. That'll fuck me up.
Yeah, but acid and fire it's useful against.
I'm really glad.
Okay. And the enhance rune or the enhance etch is put on Romulus's maul, one of your scimitars, Vinny. And Kay, what would you like as your etch as the attempt?
Keen.
Keen. So this will give you a +1 to hit. What are you going to attach that to specifically? What weapon?
My tail. I use mostly my tail and my mouth the most, but I want to see how it works with my tail.
Okay. I'm gonna roll a check for him with disadvantage because he's working on a living creature. All right. Well, the dice gods have spoken. That's 2 natural 20s. So.
Wow.
So. Well, yeah. He.
Well, I feel sad about that now. But yeah, it's fair.
No,
It's your bald spot.
I'll carry it over to the rest of your rolls. The etching goes fine for the rest of you, but for Kay more specifically, it is a slightly painful process, but you manage to endure it enough that it doesn't hurt too much, and you get a simple etch of Keen. You can, at a later date, for the same cost, so it would waste money by doing so, have it upgraded to a detailed or intricate version of Keen. This will mean you can go to a +2 or a +3 weapon with your rapier tail.
Wow.
Oh.
This will cost more though because it will cost the same amount to replace it. Etchings go up by another power each time they increase. So they get, and there's 4 tiers. There's simple, detailed, intricate, and exquisite. Exquisites, you're looking at 5-digit figures. Intricate, you're looking at 4. Detail, you're looking at high tier 3, low tier 4. And simple, you're looking at low tier 3, high tier 2, or 2-digit at most. Okay. So you have that done for you. Cat, you have a look through the weapons.
Let's go. So Cheney is helping. Point anything out that looks fun.
Okay. You find the following ones. Which barrel do you start with? The left, the middle, or the right one?
I'll go methodically, so it'll be left.
Okay. Going through this, you look through the labels. There are 5 objects in here. They're of different sizes and packages, but still wrapped. The Axe of Eventual Returning. The Cleaning Knife. The Impassionate Sickle of Fluff. 20 Orbiting Arrows. And the Lonely Bector Corbin of Stretching.
Sorry, what's a Bector Corbin?
It is the most superior weapon in existence. Have a look it up. It's great. It's a hammer, it's a blade, and it's a spike.
Wait, how's it spelled?
So it's a historically accurate halberd.
Yeah, it is. It's BEC space DE space CORBIN. Bector Corbin. It is the
Oh, what
most.
they are? Yeah, they're
It is.
cool.
Yep, it is the coolest weapon in existence. Anyway, but yes, Bector Corbin is amazing.
Joust with it.
You could joust with the Bector Corbin, not very well, but you could.
Do
So
you
those
mean
are the
Raptor Corbin?
Hmm?
That's what I got when I looked it up.
Bector Corbin.
Oh, it can also be a spiked mace.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and you can choose which of the 3. It's either piercing, bludgeoning, or slashing 2d4.
2d4.
That's
Wait,
two-handed.
there's a
Yeah,
stat line for
it's
this?
it's 5th edition. Bector Corbin, 20 gold pieces, 2d4, piercing, bludgeoning, or slashing.
Where are you
6 pound
seeing
weight.
this? Hold on.
It's on D&D Wiki.
Oh, it's
we don't use that.
Ah,
It's
no,
a
that's
homebrew page.
it's under homebrew weapons. Yeah, no, that's I've got it reskinned as a I've got it reskinned as a glaive or a hammer. So you get to choose if you want to pierce, slash, or bludgeon, but it's got reach effectively.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
got halberd
So-
properties.
I'm just looking these all over. Like, but first things first, let's sort these out by how heavy they are.
Okay. The sickle is quite
Remember, you
light,
could
as is the
always
knife.
buy Romulus a Bector Corbin.
The axe and the Bector Corbin are quite heavy, and the arrows, they're a bundle, so they're not too bad.
Arrows of orbiting. That sounds like it. I don't know. So Cheney, do you think if we throw these in the air, they're just gonna orbit?
So Chena just kind of shakes head.
No. Probably best to not throw these in the air then. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna look in the next barrel.
Okay. The next one you see has 3 things in it. You see... Oh, there is a scimitar in here. My apologies. The Hungry Scimitar of Sharpness, the Bendy Blade, and the Blade of Mending.
I feel like Cade needs the hungering scimitar.
I am kind of curious now as to what that is.
Oh my. Okay.
If you
I'm
want,
gonna
if
look
you,
in the-
I'll say if you want to, you can pull. If you, I'll say Cat. If you want to draw the attention of the party away to note this to anyone, you're welcome to. But
I will do, but at the moment she's just looking through all the barrels
Yeah.
and trying to get an understanding. Because
Okay.
they're having their discussion, well... Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go on to the 3rd barrel.
and the 3rd barrel contains the Steam Forged Longsword and a rain bow.
Rain.
Is it made of lots of small, round, different coloured?
You
sort
don't know.
of-
It's wrapped up in a bundle, and Cat's looking through it.
Can I lick it? Will it taste?
You don't know. It won't-
Okay. Now, let's be honest here. Not only have you piqued Cat's interest, but something called the rainbow. Like, Of course that's gonna like vibe with me. What is this rainbow?
I can get the orbiting arrows with it. Oh, perfect.
You want to get? Do you want to get his attention?
Yes, I do.
Okay. As he's otherwise discussing with the rest of the party, kind of finishing up. Okay, I can get that sort of thing done. I'll get to work right away. He turns to wander off.
Hey, one sec. Hey,
Hmm?
hey. I
Ah.
found something in your barrel.
Yes,
Rainbow.
they're intentionally there.
So,
Yes,
so
it's a short bow. It turns one arrow into 7. But the arrows don't do much. That's why it's in the bargain bin. The intention was to multiply arrows and make it good. And it can't be used with magical arrows, unfortunately.
what do you mean the arrows don't do much?
Have you ever stubbed your... No,
They're worse than stubbing a toe. Okay. That's pretty bad.
No.
Have
I
you ever got
haven't-
your hand trapped in a door?
Yes, we had a
That's-
big stone door and it really hurt.
Okay, not a stone door, a wooden one. Like, your hand gets trapped by accident by something. It's that sort of thing, but it's, you know, the arrows are the different colors of the rainbow.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing. What about the orbiting arrows? What are they?
They were designed like that. They just didn't work as intended. They're slightly weaker than I meant them to be. Orbiting arrows, when you fire them from a bow, they'll go round someone for a minute. If they don't move, they don't do anything.
Okay. Right. So basically, if they move, the arrows will
Attack
hit
them.
them. But if...
Yeah.
Huh. Huh.
They do a little bit less effect because they're slowed down by the magical orbit, but yeah.
Hang on a second. Would these two work together?
No. The magical effect is suppressed when fired from the rainbow. That's the bad thing. Otherwise, it'd be pretty good. 7 arrows for 1 is pretty nice.
Hang on one second. Right. I can't even use a bow, can I?
No.
No. No. That's it.
But
Okay.
I can.
Well, there's
Can you though?
there's a
Barbarian.
thing that I think Vinny might like. It's a hungry sword, rapier. I'm pretty sure he uses them. This thing wants to
Scimitar.
eat. Scimitar. Oh, it's
Yeah,
not. He uses
the-
rapier.
No,
No, he
he
uses scimitars.
Does he?
I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
if you wanted
You
to
were
hunt-
right in all the wrong ways.
Oh,
I
fair.
mean-
This thing is hungry, Vinny. This looks like your weapon.
If
Hungry, huh?
I mean, if you wanted, the hungry scimitar it's not a magical weapon, so to speak. It is a enhanced weapon, so it has magical properties to it. So it's nice in that regard. Okay, I assume Vinny, you've come over with the mention of this scimitar.
Yes.
I've heard
And it just
hungry-
appeared from behind the barrel, just
Yeah.
slowly rised up. It's like,
The
uh-huh.
the scimitar's good. If you land a clean hit on somebody, it'll do a lot of bonus damage. It'll really do a number on them. But you have to feed it every day, and if you don't, then it won't work. So the hungry scimitar must be fed 1 medium creature's worth of food every day, or it will unattune permanently from the wielder. Grants +5 damage on critical hits when used.
Ooh, that's a good weapon, though.
But you're gonna have to do micromanagement of rations.
Okay.
Okay. Does
I
it,
want
when
it-
you say food, does it have to be human food?
It has to be a medium creature's worth of food, so it has to be edible, and it may be picky. You don't know.
I want it.
Well, I'm just saying, this thing's going to be stabbed inside of people's flesh. I mean, it probably
Consumed
isn't going to
and
mind
killed.
eating people.
It's picky.
It could be picky, you don't know.
Could we have a conversation
Let's-
with
It could be a vegetarian. You
That's
don't know.
what the extra damage could be. In literally spitting out metal shards inside. It's like, ugh, this is dirty.
In this instance, it's not
Dirty.
it's not sentient. It just seems to have a magical enchantment which consumes food.
Oh.
Right.
Then how
So-
can it be picky?
You don't know. Magic.
Yeah, sure. fucking
Okay,
Magic.
so
bastard.
let me understand what's going on here. Out of all of this stuff, what can I use?
The Impassionate Sickle of Fluff, the Cleaning Knife, because they're both small weapons which a wizard can use, and the Blade of Mending.
So what does this blade of mending do?
The Blade of Mending's a pretty good one. Just nobody seems to want it because it's meh. It's actually a fully enchanted dagger. It's pretty good. It's slightly enhanced, and once a day you can stab a friend, and it'll heal them instead of hurting them.
She does that anyways.
Well, then it will fit right in. It's from the 100 bin. It's the 100 gold one if you want it. I mean, you're not taking an etching at all, so you're welcome to have it if you want.
I will take it because I harmed Damian enough.
Okay, it is attunement if that changes your
Wait, what?
opinion.
Ooh,
Why
well,
not
actually,
harm?
at the moment I only have one. Well, consider I seem to spend a lot of time beating you up. Having something
Do
that
you?
heals you while I do, yeah.
Stab, stab, stab. Heal.
Damien
stab,
hasn't noticed this
stab.
somehow.
Stab, heal. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise my alternative was going to take the bendy blade so I could use it as an instrument.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, literally.
Oh
Just
my god,
exactly.
It's more like playing it like a string, just hitting it
Yeah.
there and boom, boom, boom,
Okay,
boom, boom.
And the last question is the sickle of fluff.
Ah,
I mean, it
that's
does
one.
sound really cute.
That one's a fun one. If you don't put enough oomph in your swing, it it won't like you trying to attack with it again. However, if you hit someone, instead of hurting them, you can just cover them in fluff, making their life more difficult.
That also sounds like you.
See, now I'm stuck in a bind because it's like, do I want to heal the party or do I want to be an inconvenience to literally everyone?
I mean, you kind of do both already, so it doesn't really matter.
Hey, just think about it. If you get the fluff, you won't be killing any more rats.
You'll be just covering them in fluff.
True. I'm just sort of look at Damian. Do I want to heal him or turn him fluffy? Oh, asking that question, I know I want to go with the fluff one now.
Oh no.
I'm going with the sickle of fluff because that sounds amazing.
Okay, that is a
Sorry,
non-attunement
you're not getting
weapon, so I will send that to you now.
Okay, you're not getting healed.
If
I'm
that is that your
afraid.
final choice?
Yeah, no, that is 100% my final choice. That
Alright.
sounds fun.
Enjoy. Add it to your inventory. The sickle will give you disadvantage to hit on your next attack roll if you roll 5 or lower naturally. So if you roll 5 or lower naturally on anything, you have disadvantage on your next to hit roll with it. However, should you hit a creature instead of doing damage, you may cover them in fluff, giving them disadvantage on their next weapon attack roll.
Amazing. Okay, sickle of fluff. Right, and do I use my strength for that?
Yes.
Let's go. Oh no.
Remind me, is a sickle a finesse weapon?
Oh,
I believe it is.
Just literally close the
I
door.
I
Give me one
can't
sec.
remember.
Give me one sec.
No one ever takes it. A sickle
no.
is just
They
a
are
light
light.
weapon.
But not finesse. They are
So
so bad. Why?
So it's a strength-based weapon. A dagger is better. You should have taken the dagger.
A hand axe is better.
There is the dagger of healing, but I'm not doing this to do damage. I'm doing this to make things fluffy.
That's fair. That's fair. Hey, you're not going to hit likely with it anyway, so it's fine. Ross needs a natural 20 literally to hit Damian. He's not wearing his armor right now. Quick step.
No, exactly.
Wow.
100%. And after that remark that he just said,
What?
it's all right. You wait until we leave the tent.
What?
Love,
I'm so
love you,
Okay.
Damian.
Okay, does anybody else want to buy any of these bargain weapons? Keep in mind you can only buy one overall per person, and those of you who have got etchings have gotten your etchings in place of this. So
No, I got my hand
and you
axes.
got your
I'm
hand
fine.
axes, so you won't get anything else. Lloyd, is there any that you want? If you've been paying attention, or if you've fallen asleep. Well-
He's still speaking in foreign tongue.
Yeah.
There are Cyrillic Zeds emanating from his head.
Right,
Hello.
did anybody else have any money they wanted to spend on anything?
I have to. I'm sorry, but I have to. I have to buy the
The hungy sword?
The
the
hungry,
hungry
scimitar.
sword.
The Hungry
I have
Scimitar
to-
of Sharpness?
I have to. I have.
Okay. So
I
you
can't not.
so you're going to spend 100 gold for the Hungry Scimitar of Sharpness?
Well, wait, does
Yeah.
this actually have the sharpness enchantment on it? Because that's a very high level.
It's a minor version of the Sharpness enchantment. It gives a +5 to damage on critical hits.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought that was just like the hungry effect. I didn't realize that you'd.
No, the hungry effect is that it eats food every day. The Sharpness
Okay.
is that it gets a +5 to the damage on critical hits.
All right.
So it's a very good weapon, but it's got an upkeep
it's a-
cost. So.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to have a look through the bargain bin. and
I
see the
actually
bargain things.
can't.
You don't have
I
100
want
gold?
to. No, I have 36. I don't know where all my money went.
Shop-
Pastries, my friend.
Jeez.
I haven't bought pastries
Cheese.
in a
Not
while,
Shopkeep.
and I didn't buy the
Mhm.
cheese. I got the cheese for free.
I have a number of potentially interesting items that I am willing to sell or exchange. Would
right.
this be amenable to you in addition to some gold pieces to
Depends on the items. I mean, I'm a metallurgist. I work in metal. Well, my husband's the metallurgist. I work with this. Unless there's anything of particular use that either of us can use, there's not much I can do.
Well, I'll have a look and see if there's something I'm interested in first.
By all means.
Alright. I will look through the bargain bin.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what was the effect on the box to box to book?
The lonely Bector Corbin of stretching.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Just reach.
the weapon can get itself some extra reach. It can make itself longer, which is very useful. But if you're not attacking at that long range, it becomes very unwieldy to use. Oh, and when you're not wielding it, it'll cause you to be bad at everything else you do.
Why?
It's lonely. So you know, the halberd-like weapon can reach up to 15 feet when activated and remains as such for a minute. During that time, any attack made not at 15-foot range has disadvantage. However, while you are not wielding this weapon when it is active, you will have disadvantage applied to all ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws using strength, dex, and con while it's active.
If you're not wielding it.
If you're
And this
not
is only
wielding it,
the
yeah.
minute that it's active.
Yes, so this means that if you're, say, for example, you're attacking a creature at long range, you activate it, you stab it at long range, and then it moves within your range and you drop it, you have disadvantage on everything, Marshall. In other words, it's like, oh yeah, you used it once and then tossed it away. It's like, it doesn't like that, it's lonely. So it needs to be wielded for the entire minute. It's a very difficult weapon to use. There's a reason it's 50 gold.
Yeah. Yeah. But for that 1 minute, I'd be really fucking dangerous. And it would give me an excuse to retire my Dane axe. Because as much as I love it, the inherent issue with it is I don't want it getting damaged.
I mean, if
And
you're looking
I
for a
do
weapon,
more damage with the maul.
if you're looking for a weapon to replace it with, potentially, I can recommend the Steamforged Longsword if you got the coin for it.
What does that do?
It does better weapon damage than usual. It's slightly upgraded. It's a improved weapon, so it does a D10 or D12 for its base damage when being wielded one-handed or two-handed, respectively.
Oh fuck, that's actually really nice.
However, if you roll too low, or if you don't hit well enough and you're against certain enemies, sometimes the blade will turn to steam, and then it can't actually hurt anyone unless they're very cold.
Does the blade turn back from
Oh,
being
it does.
steam?
Yes, afterwards it turns back almost instantaneously, but for when it's passing through the creature, it'll just turn to steam. Effectively, it's like, oh, you're not going to hit anyway, so why should I bother? And it just turns into steam.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so when you roll a natural 10 or lower, regardless of if you would have hit or not, it turns to steam, and will then only do damage to cold enemies such as ice elementals or white dragons. But it's a better weapon. It's also attunement.
Tell me about this knife of cleaning.
Oh, it's just a dagger that turns into soap. But when it's soap, it's magical. It also does cold damage.
Okay, see, what I was thinking is maybe it would be one that would be good for, cleaning animals when you gut them and clean them. But,
Oh, no. What?
No.
What's
When
the
it's soap, is it still sharp?
Yes. So the dagger turns into soap when submerged in water, becoming magical when it's soap. However, it does 1 cold damage instead of 1d4 piercing damage when soap. So when if you try to wash yourself with the knife, it will hurt.
And then just immediately put it back.
I mean, the only other one I can recommend if you don't have anything ranged is the Axe of Eventual Returning.
I think I can
Eventual
work out what that
returning.
means.
Yeah, it's fairly simple. You throw it. It's just a hand axe. If it hits a target or not, it'll come back to you eventually, pretty soon afterwards. But it's no guarantee.
What's the time scale?
1d4 rounds later. You don't know when this will happen, and you must spend a reaction to catch it, or it attacks you when it comes on its way back.
Oh, let's go.
If you pick it up
so
before
good
then,
without
if you got danger sense.
It's built for you.
Now,
boy.
to clarify, you said a 10 on the roll for
the Steam Forge Longsword. Yeah, so if it's an unmodified roll of 10 or lower, so unnatural 10, 9, 8, etc., it'll turn to steam.
Even if I've got like a plus 20.
Yep.
Oh, that's so stupid. But also, a longsword that I can wield in one hand that's a D10, that's fucking good.
It is.
I could pick up a shield and actually have AC for once. Ah.
I should too.
What's the damage die on the big boy? On the Spectacle? How do I?
It's a halberd, so it's the same as a glaive. It's the same as your Danex.
Okay. But it can do any weapon that has more range.
It can do any damage type. It's basically just a halberd weapon that can switch between bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. But it can have a 15-foot range. But then when it's not inside, when anything is inside of that 15-foot range, you can't hit it so well.
But that's when it's activated.
When it's activated,
Yeah.
yes. Otherwise, it's just a D10 weapon that.
Does it
switches.
normally have normal reach? So it's got a 10.
Yeah, it's got a 10-foot range basically. Yeah.
Okay.
It just gets slightly longer.
Yeah, see that is slightly useful for me. Not very useful, but slightly useful. And I have been looking for an excuse to put my Danex away, just because I'm like, the more fights I bring it into, the more I'm like, I really didn't want to use this against the slimes, because I was like, shit, what if this gets broken? What if this dissolves or whatever? Like that, and that's part of why I got the maul in the first place. But beyond the fact the maul just does more damage, because mauls are fucking great.
Yeah.
But no, this is genuinely useful. I'm gonna go. All right, I will take the lonely box to coal. You're gonna have to fucking spell that for me, Chris.
That's fine. I'll send you the full details. It's 50 gold. Do you have that now?
I do have 50 gold.
All right. Please expend 50 gold, and Romulus, you are the now proud owner of a lonely Corbin of stretching. Congratulations.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, from now on, I'm just going to call you Beck, alright?
It doesn't respond.
It's alright, I understand. I'm shy too.
But if you're after magical weapons, I have some actual ones. I have 2 in my possession.
Okay, you could have said that before I spent the 50 gold.
Okay, the warhammer is the warhammer is otherwise 500 to 600 gold. I believe it's
Oh
like
yeah, there's no way.
550. Kind of he looks over at Song, who just kind of nods. And I got a dagger that's 870 something.
Oh, what is? Okay. I am sorry to say there is absolutely no way I can afford them. However, I'd love to hear about what they can do.
Oh, the dagger has the ability to jump between patches of darkness. So it allows you to bounce between locations. It might have actually been useful for you, Cat. I mean, it's a dagger, so you could stab with it if you really wanted to. Otherwise, it allows you to gain a new magic, I understand. It allows you to bounce between dark spots.
As as that sounds, I would never be able to afford that.
Yeah, true. It's the same sort of magic if you've seen any of our performances.
Yes, hon.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing as that, from what I understand. We picked it up off the back of a cart. As it was traveling by, some dude died with it. It's also better as a dagger than usual. It's slightly stronger. It's pretty well crafted. Not gonna lie.
Wait, what is it?
It's a dagger. It's 875 gold.
And what was the hammer?
What does it do?
Hammer was 550. Hammer is just weird. It's just a really good hammer.
When we say a really good hammer, do we like how good are we talking here?
It's a +1 hammer that can reroll all damage rolls twice.
Fuck me!
Wow.
So you get like, oh wait, hold on. While attuned to this warhammer, it provides a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls, and when rolling damage, roll twice and take the higher. Sorry, it's your all advantage with damage on the warhammer. So it's a D8,
Fuck.
D8 +1 with its +1 weaponry, but obviously it rerolls if you need it to.
Or D10 if you're using it 200.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do that. I kind of really want to do that.
It's 550, so
Oh.
it's a bit expensive. If you pull together, that's fine. I can give you maybe a bit of a discount if you want, but
No, it's fine. If we, we'll remember you and come back if it's still here.
oh yeah, by all means. I mean, I haven't sold it yet. No one wants it. And same with the
But
dagger.
that's such a good weapon.
How's
I
your dagger?
know. The thing is, most of the people around here, and hence my stock, most of the people around here use weapons that are finer weaponry. If I'm the only one who uses the ward picks to climb anywhere, and everybody else uses weapons that are lighter and easier to use. The dagger I can understand people not wanting to use. It's a bit weird.
In one hand, I hold the Beck to Corbin. In the other hand, I hold my Danax. In a secret third hand, I hold them all. Fucking idiots.
What you can't, you can't do that.
But yeah, to clarify, how many times per day can I do the the 15-foot 1 minute thing?
I believe it's once per day. Oh no, you can just use it as many times as you want, but then you've got the disadvantage of it being a 15-foot weapon, range weapon, with the disadvantage of if you don't use it, you're screwed.
That is fair. That is fair.
So you can use it as much as you want. So you could keep it as a permanently 15-foot weapon if you really wanted to, but you're looking at a very negative thing if you decide to try and go, oh, combat's ended, puts weapon away, has to jump over gap. I can't do it. My back to Corbin won't let me. So it makes some
Aw.
very interesting encounters.
If I ever want disadvantage on something, this becomes incredibly useful.
Oh yeah, if you can find a use for that, then by all means. Anyway.
Well, see, my thought process is if I ever really fuck up and decide to punch my friends for whatever reason, to avoid killing them, this becomes a great opportunity for me to just drop that and just try and hit them, because at least then I've got disadvantage on it no matter what happens. And if I ever get turned evilly stuff, yeah, like mind control bullshit, my party will know to just remove this from my person, and for the next minute, I'm basically trash.
I mean, you can always use Reckless to counteract disadvantage, but yes.
But but the alternative is I'm using Reckless to get advantage.
That's true. But enough
Which
shopping
will
for
be
today, I think, is about
Oh, right.
as it's about time. For now, I think we'll wrap it up. With some otherwise uncountable party members to a certain degree, others watching the onlooking of such purchases as intriguing, and other members otherwise curious as to what will come next. Thank you for watching, hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time, where this will continue. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, potatoes.
Right.